Livingston Lancers and the Clifton Mustangs, a 4 versus 5 seed matchup in the public North 1 Group 4 quarterfinal round. Next on the NFHS Network.
He's going to take it himself for a championship! A double play wins it the break!
Turn it to the end zone. What a catch! The Coyotes on touchdown!
Into the layup goes at the buzzer.
Wins it! The championship!
Good morning. Media Pro page on the NFHS Network. My name is Ryan Lowy. I am joined with Alex Weiss, and today we have a contest between the Livingston Lancers coming into this one as the 4th seed, 18-8, taking on the Clifton to this one with a 19-5 record as the 5th seed. Once again, my name is Ryan Lowy. I'm joined with Alex Weiss in the broad. Livingston came off a big win as they were able to take down Morristown in what was a grudge match that came down to the very end. And on the other side, Clifton, a 2-day contest versus Bergen Tech out of Bergen County, in which they were able to win off of a walk-off pass ball. These two teams now enter the quarterfinal round and will take on the winner of West Orange and Hackensack, which will be played this evening at 7 p.m. at West Orange High School's baseball facility. Alex, we'd like to welcome you into the broadcast. Who's your player to watch for both the Lancers and the Mustangs?
Well, it's a little cliche to look at the pitcher, but Ben Hauser's taking the mound for the Lancers today, and he's been phenomenal this season on both sides of the ball. He's leading them in all their major hitting categories. He's also been phenomenal at the pitcher position. In fact, Ben Hauser leads the Lancers in pitches thrown, strikeouts, and ERA, and he's second to only John DePalma, who won the game against Morristown in innings pitched. On the other side, phenomenal pitcher today for the Clifton Mustangs. Sorry, excuse me. Clifton Mustangs. Kyle Rogers will be the bump. Rogers actually pitched in their first game, a 3-2 win over Bergen Tech. In that game, he threw 1 inning, 17 pitches, 3 hits, 2 runs, neither of which were earned, and a strikeout. He's been nothing short of phenomenal this season for the Mustangs. He leads them in ERA and is number 1 on the Mustangs in innings pitched, and he's second to only Kyle Velez, who pitched also in their game against Bergen Tech, in pitches thrown and strikeouts. So today is going to be the definition of a pitcher's duel.
Alex, we have a great contest for you today. As we said, the winner will take on the winner of Hackensack and West Orange, just like Livingston, who's on a 7-game winning streak. West Orange hasn't lost in quite some time. It's been a few weeks in their 20-game regular season. They ended with a phenomenal 13-7 record. They now come into their next game with a 14-7 record, and if they beat Hackensack, who is 8-18, coming up with a big victory versus Montclair, knocking out the number 1 seed, that means that this game can mean a lot for the. It means that Livingston can host a good amount of time.
Well, you mentioned going back to Livingston's winning streak. They lost to Seton Hall Prep in the quarterfinals of the Newark tournament, which is the Essex County tournament. They lost 3-2 to Seton Hall. Since then, they have not lost, Ryan. That's 7 straight games that the Lancers have been victorious, 8 of their last 9. That's been largely in part to the bats of the Livingston Lancers lineup, specifically Brandon Kenny, who's been slugging, Daniel Levine, who struggled a little bit last game, but he's looking to bounce back, and as I mentioned before, Ben Hauser, who's been nothing short of a star for this Lancers lineup. So it's going to be a tough outing here for Kyle Rogers, but with the skill that he possesses, I think it's going to be a very good duel between Rogers and the Lancers batting order.
We'll be right back. Coming up next, we have baseball on the NFHS Network.
Do you want your school to be covered by the #1 live stream service in the state of New Jersey so the entire country can see moments like this?
We play once again. Free kick coming for the Mountaineers. Short shot on goal. On post. And West Orange gets the goal, and they win. They take down the number 2 ranked Seton Hall Pirates. Bullock takes the snap. He's going to take it himself. Barreling towards the goal line, and he's in. Charge Bullock from 3 yards out, and the Marauders lead it 20-7.
Or be a witness to championships like these?
Montclair are state sectional champions! They defeat Livingston 4-1. And the Mounties sweep the boys and girls brackets in back-to-back wins over the Lancers. 3-2. There goes the runners. Swing on and miss. Strike three. That does it. The Cranford Cougars are the Last Dance World Series champions.
Or have exclusive interviews with players and coaches.
Maroon and Silver star pitcher Teague Mulcahy. I'm here with Cranford star Ryan Jaros. We're with the Bergen Crusaders star of the game, Luis De La Cruz.
Here with West Orange head coach Doug Nevins. And all right, now here with star goalkeeper Nikolai Matthews of this West Orange Mountaineer team. Nikolai. Here with Claire Manning after Montclair picks up a 4-1 win over Livingston. I'm here with Molly Brumback, the goalkeeper. Molly, what's Rivers today like? Here with West Orange girls varsity coach Sean DeVore.
Then join the D1 Media Pro team, New Jersey's #1 live streaming service.
Once again, this is the quarterfinal matchup, ladies and gentlemen, between the Livingston Lancers and the Clifton Mustangs. The Lancers, the hosting 4th seed, and the Clifton Mustangs, the 5th seed, which are visiting today. Alex, how did both these teams get here? Coming up with a bunch of regular season matchups and one postseason matchup as well.
Well, in the first round of the tournament, the round of 16, Livingston defeated Morristown by a score of 3-2. John DePalma pitched for the Lancers. He's been phenomenal. He pitched 7 innings, complete game, 5 hits, 2 runs, only 1 which were earned. A walk, 4 strikeouts, 6 runners stranded. The Lancers, on the other side of things, stranded 5 runners and struck out 9 times. So their bats were a little bit less in that game, but they're looking to bounce back here. On the other side of things, the Mustangs defeated Bergen Tech by a score of 3-2. And that game was actually played on 2 separate days after a rain delay paused the game on Wednesday. They resumed on Thursday, and they won via a Brian Feliciano walk-off run on a passed ball. Feliciano had a great game, though, not to belittle that. He had 3 runs and a stolen base. Kyle Vellis was on the mound for the Mustangs. He threw 6 innings, only 3 hits, no runs, only a couple walks, and 3 strikeouts.
Alex, 18-8 is Livingston. Clifton, 19-5. We have baseball coming up soon here on the NFHS Network, as well as starting lineups next.
The North Jersey Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Institute is the preferred practice for diagnosis and orthopedic treatment in New Jersey. Our focus includes sports injuries, as well as the treatment of a broad range of orthopedic complaints, from common tendon ailments and arthritic joint pain to traumatic injuries. Our facility offers an on-site physical therapy suite, in conjunction with specifically designed exercise programs, non-invasive and advanced healing technology. Specialist Dr. Michael Rusinella utilizes non-surgical and minimally invasive surgical procedures to help patients regain back their quality of life.
Welcome back, Alex and everybody watching, to the Public North 1 Group 4 quarterfinal round. The Clifton Mustangs are visiting the Livingston Lancers, and this Livingston Lancers team is taking on a Clifton Mustang squad that brings up Juan Peralta, the shortstop, batting first, batting second, Kyle Vellis, the first baseman. Jarice Polanco is batting third at third base. The cleanup hitter is Kyle Rogers, the pitcher. Batting fifth is the left fielder, Brian Feliciano. Connor Reed is batting sixth in center. Batting seventh is Luis Rivera, the second baseman. Carlos Nunez bats eighth. He's the right fielder. And then winding out the order is Owen Riordan, designated hitting for today's catcher, and the defense for the Clifton Mustangs today, Alex.
We have Kyle Rogers pitching to Angel Vidanetta, Kyle Vellis playing first, Luis Rivera, no relation to Coach Rivera, playing second, Peralta at short, and Jarice Polanco at the hot corner. Left, right in the outfield, we have Brian Feliciano, who we'll get to more of in a minute, Connor Reed in center, and Carlos Nunez in right. Going back to Brian Feliciano, he's been a workhorse for the Mustangs. He's been specifically a force to be reckoned with on the base path. He leads his team in runs and stolen bases. He's also second in hits and triples. Also at shortstop, Juan Peralta, he's a senior. He leads the Mustangs in a lot of major hitting categories, hits, runs batted in. He's tied for the lead in triples with Feliciano, also leads his team in doubles. Leads his team in home runs, batting average, and slugging percentage. He's also second on the Mustangs in runs scored, walks, and bases stolen.
Alex, coming up, we will have the Livingston Lancers next. When one of the top public high school athletic programs in the state of New Jersey uses the #1 live stream in the nation.
Flip to Carson. He went the 90 yards on the kickoff return. He's trying to finish it off with a touchdown, and he does! Zakai Carson.
Ball court. Passed on over to Capstraw. Capstraw will dive in past 2 players, and she's able to load up and score. That is the 1,000-point club type of play right there. You can't ask for better than that one.
Pass across. Stick down by Murphy. Send a shot and deflected. They score!
at the 2:30 marker left in the game. Immaculate go quickly, but it has just costed them a good play there to stay on the West Orange side. Diving in quickly is Capstraw, and she herself is leading West Orange to a comeback. 5
on it along the far corner, tries to send it in towards goal, has a man! What a pass, what a goal! Emma Mitchell to Gianna Festino. Short shot on goal, post and West Orange gets the goal, and they win. They take down the number 2 ranked Seton Hall Pirates. What a thrilling game!
So a free kick for West Orange. She sends it towards the net.
But we don't score the game, we just call and record it. As the pitch from Bove with nobody on base, swung on and missed, struck him out. Rosu now trying to get on the offensive side of things. Can he? Ooh, and he's able to work himself into a pin position. Can he earn the pin? He's got all 5. Back points easily secured, and he pins him. So the first Rosu with the pinfall victory. A big victory for Rosu.
West Orange with a 5-0 win over Newark Central. I'm here with West Orange head coach Doug Nevins. All right, West Orange with a 6-1 win over Columbia. I'm here with 3 stars of the game: Emma Mitchell, Kaya Schultz, Gianna Festino.
So I'm Ryan Lowy from D1 Media Pro, and I'm joined with senior Kaya Schultz and junior Kylie Capstraw. West Orange girls varsity basketball season is over.
Here with West Orange girls varsity coach Sean DeVore. Russo after a 5-0 victory for West Orange over Newark Central.
Welcome back. Public North 1 Group 4 quarterfinal round, between the Lancers and the Mustangs. Pre-game coverage. Let's now talk about the hosting Livingston Lancers offense, Alex.
Batting first for the Lancers, the pitcher Ben Hauser. Behind him, Levine. Kakuza, the DH in the 3-hole. Aaron Hauser, Ben's brother, hitting cleanup, playing first. Side the catcher, hitting 5th. Kenny 6th, Fusari 7th, Ullman 8th, and rounding out the order is Scott Schroeder Jr. Now, Ryan, let's see how Coach Mickey Ennis decided to play his defense today.
So the defense, Alex, is looking a little different. We have one new player out today who is actually being DH'd for by LJ Kakuza in the outfield. Starting off as one of our newbies today, Julian Schultz, the freshman, is playing right field. We have Kenny in center and Fusari in the left. In the infield, from third to first, we have Levine, Ullman, Schroeder, and Hauser. And then doing the work behind the plate is Miles Side for the pitcher within the older Benjamin Hauser.
So you mentioned the new player in the outfield, Julian Schultz. See how we got there, Ryan. In Wednesday's win over Morristown, Ben Levine played center field and Brandon Kenny was in right. Because Hauser is pitching, they moved Kenny over to center, and they needed someone to fill in that vacancy in right field, hence Julian Schultz being penciled into the lineup. So a little bit of a change up for the Lancers. Everything else does stay the same. Batting order is pretty similar to how it was Wednesday. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it, Ryan. That's what Mickey Ennis is doing today. And he won Wednesday. Let's see if he can continue that success today against a very strong Clifton offense.
So here's the question, Alex. We're 7 minutes past scheduled first pitch. Not sure, maybe the umpires didn't get the... no, the umpires are in attendance, but today's game was supposed to start at 2 p.m. So I guess there's that hour buffer. We also have Cranford baseball going on today in the quarterfinal round. They got moved from 11 to 2. Kevin Connolly on the broadcast for that one, but we're not sure what the delay is, but we're 7 minutes past first pitch, and the Lancers have yet to take the field. So with that being said, it's now time to do a little bracketology. Let's talk about who you think Alex is going to win now that Montclair is out. I'm going to say this, Livingston has quite the breeze if they're able to do their job correctly and play the way they know how to play recently to get to the finals, but they probably are going to have to take on a very strong PCTI team that is just defensively and offensively more sound than most others.
Well, we mentioned before that Livingston is on a 7-game win streak since their loss in the GNT. They've won 8 of their last 9. So they've been hot and they're looking to continue that momentum into today. Let's look at the remaining teams. We have Hackensack and West Orange, as you mentioned before. That's a 16 versus 8 matchup being played tonight at West Orange. Obviously today, Clifton and Livingston, 5 and 4, playing scheduled 1 o'clock first pitch.
This is probably the most even games.
It is. We have a 5 and a 4 playing at 3 p.m. in Ridgewood. We have 3 Ridgewood playing against 6 Columbia. And this morning, a game kicked off between Union City and, as you mentioned, a very strong PCTI Bulldogs team. So we have a lot of high seeds, and obviously the one outlier is Hackensack, the 16 seed, able to defeat Montclair in a 2-1 victory on Wednesday in Montclair. Obviously no easy feat, but I do think Livingston has a very good shot at advancing today, and I think that Livingston versus West Orange, a potential semifinal matchup, will be a very good game for both teams, a real test for both squads. And it's too hard to say. Obviously, baseball is a game of momentum, and it's a game of bursts. It depends on who gets hot today. It depends on what the game is like that would be played on Tuesday. So as to who would win, it's hard to say, but I think in a potential Livingston-West Orange matchup, it'll be a close game for sure.
It would be fun for us too, Alex.
It would be very fun.
We both know both teams very well.
Yeah.
That would likely be played on Tuesday.
Yes, scheduled for Tuesday, June 7th. Of course, both coaches, very good friends of the broadcast, in Coach Mickey Ennis and Coach Blumkin. And on the other side of the bracket, Ridgewood, Columbia. Ridgewood, the 3 seed coming into today's game. I think they're the favorite in this one. And then lastly,
Columbia has baseball bats. I must say that, Alex. We've seen them a couple times this year.
We have, but on the other side of things, both teams beat lower seeds. Columbia beating 11 Bloomfield, and Ridgewood defeating 14 Fair Lawn by a score of 7-2. So another team has really been tested. And I hesitate to say that, but you know, in the first round of a tournament, when seeding is so important, it's hard to test teams. But we saw even Montclair, the 1 seed, the favorite going into the tournament, last year's winners who defeated Livingston, and more on that in a moment, they were the favorite, but they still lost. So it goes both ways. But I think Ridgewood Columbia is going to be a very good game, and PCTI Union City was scheduled to already be underway. No word on that game yet. But I think that there's a lot of potential for 2 very exciting and very competitive baseball games to be played on Tuesday in the semifinal round.
Alex, it is the playoffs, and how do I say this nicely, but it is weird in a lot of situations.
Yes.
We look at the non-public bracket yesterday. Del Barton knocked off a red-hot St. Peter's Prep Marauders team, 14-0, a 5-inning contest, which saw Del Barton get to exercise a few JV players on the baseball field to end the season for the Hudson County champions, who took down a Ferris baseball team. That's in one of the most interesting sections. Milburn was able to advance in that one as the first seed with a big win yesterday. They were barely able to scrape past Nutley. Nutley lost to Bloomfield, and Bloomfield a terrible 9-19 record, but a phenomenal baseball team to look for next year. 9-19, they finished the season, but they have a lot of talent. We saw them in the finals of the GNT, and although they kind of looked like they weren't ready to take on a dominant Seton Hall Prep Pirates team that moved on yesterday, beating 6-4 over Bergen Catholic, I think next year Bloomfield could be a possible favorite in the SEC American Division. I mean, we remember Bloomfield, a lot of talent.
Well, Bloomfield, as I mentioned, dropped the first round 4-3 against Columbia. As we see the umpires stepping into position, the teams and coaches moving to speak with him. But we mentioned Bloomfield, they did get, there's no right word, I think pummeled is the right word. Yeah. They got killed by Seton Hall. Very good Seton Hall baseball team, multiple D1 commits on that roster. I want to go back to last year's Section 1 Group 4 tournament, in which Livingston and Clifton faced off in the semifinals. Livingston did take that game 4-2. And this is quite the revenge game for the returning Clifton varsity players who saw their championship chances fall to Livingston, and they're looking for a chance to play in the semifinals today. And in that game, who else but Ben Hauser? He went 2 for 3 and knocked in 2 runs. So he's looking to replicate his performance against his team last year, both on the mound and in the batter's box.
Alex, this stuff is so funny to talk about. Livingston last year in a shortened season due to COVID breaking up a lot of ball games as well as the weather, a 6-10 regular season record. They entered the playoffs, winning 3 straight games, including a semifinal victory versus Clifton to advance to the finals. A tough loss put them in their place, but they had a lot of talent last year that just was not utilized properly in the regular season due to cancellations here and there, but they just came together for the playoffs and did a lot of damage, knocked out a lot of dominant programs like Clifton.
Well, 2 points I'd like to make on that, Ryan. First of all, if you're going down, you want to take other teams down with you. There's no better team if you're struggling. There's no better feeling, if you're struggling, that if you're going to fall, you may as well take a big guy down with you. And also at every level of sports, whether it be at the youth level, the junior varsity, collegiate, professional, semi-pro, COVID broke up a lot of games. It messed up a lot of schedules last season.
Messed up a lot of momentum, too.
It did. Teams would go on win streaks, then have their season put on pause for 2 weeks, and then come back and be a completely different looking team. And like I said, this happened in T-ball and it happened in the majors. So it was so unpredictable, and it's hard for a team to get hot. And we saw that last year, obviously, with Livingston, with a talented group not able to utilize their star power. And unfortunately for them, they did not have the record that they wanted, and certainly not the record that reflected the skill that they had. But like I said before, if you're going to go down, you may as well drag a good team down with you, Ryan.
So, Alex, we're still waiting first pitch. We're quite behind schedule, but nonetheless, we have a great game in the brewing. Livingston and Clifton, 4 versus 5 baseball in the State Sectional Tournament next on the NFHS Network, presented by D1 Media Pro.
When one of the top public high school athletic programs in the state of New Jersey uses the #1 live stream in the nation.
Flip to Carson. He went the 90 yards on the kickoff return. He's trying to finish it off with a touchdown, and he does! Ja'Kai Carson!
Ball court. Passed on over to Capstraw. Capstraw will dive in past 2 players, and she's able to lay it up and score. That is the 1,000-point club type of play right there. You can't ask for better than that one.
Pass across. Stick down by Murphy. Send a shot and deflected. They score!
2 now. We're at the 2:30 marker left in the game. Immaculate go quickly, but it has just costed them a good play there to stay on the West Orange side. Diving in quickly is Capstraw, and she herself is leading West Orange to a comeback. 5
on it along the far corner. Tries to send it in towards goal. Has a man! What a pass! What a goal! Emma Mitchell to Gianna Festino. Short shot on goal. On post. And West Orange makes the goal, and they win. They take down the #2 ranked Seton Hall Pirates. What a thrilling game!
So a free kick for West Orange. She sends it towards the net.
But we don't score the game, we just call and record it. As the pitch from Bove with nobody on base, swung on and missed, struck him out. Rosu now trying to get on the offensive side of things, can he? Ooh, and he's able to work himself into a pin position. Penny earned the pin, he's got all 5 back points easily secured, and he pins him. So the first Rosu with the pinfall victory. A big victory for Rosu.
West Orange with a 5-0 win over Newark Central. I'm here with West Orange head coach Doug Nevins. All right, West Orange with a 6-1 win over Columbia. I'm here with 3 stars of the game: Emma Mitchell, Kaya Schultz, Gianna Festino.
So I'm Ryan Lowy from D1 Media Pro, and I'm joined with senior Kaya Schultz and junior Kylie Capstraw. West Orange girls varsity basketball season is over.
Here with West Orange girls varsity coach Sean DeVore. Russo after a 5-0 victory for West Orange over Newark Central.
When one of the top public high school athletic programs in the state of New Jersey uses the #1 live stream in the nation.
Flip to Carson. He went the 90 yards on the kickoff return. He's trying to finish it off with a touchdown, and he does! Ja'Kai Carson!
Ball court. Passed on over to Capstraw. Capstraw will dive in past 2 players, and she's able to lay it up and score. That is the 1,000-point club type of play right there. You can't ask for better than that one.
Pass across. Stick down by Murphy. Send a shot and deflected. They score!
2 now. We're at the 2:30 marker left in the game. Immaculate go quickly, but it has just costed them a good play there to stay on the West Orange side. Diving in quickly is Capstraw, and she herself is leading West Orange to a comeback. 5
on it along the far corner. Tries to send it in towards goal. Has a man! What a pass! What a goal! Emma Mitchell to Gianna Festino. Short shot on goal. On post. And West Orange makes the goal, and they win. They take down the #2 ranked Seton Hall Pirates. What a thrilling game!
So a free kick for West Orange. She sends it towards the net.
But we don't score the game, we just call and record it. As the pitch from Bove with nobody on base, swung on and missed, struck him out. Rosu now trying to get on the offensive side of things, can he? Ooh, and he's able to work himself into a pin position. Penny earned the pin, he's got all 5 back points easily secured, and he pins him. So the first Rosu with the pinfall victory. A big victory for Rosu.
West Orange with a 5-0 win over Newark Central. I'm here with West Orange head coach Doug Nevins. All right, West Orange with a 6-1 win over Columbia. I'm here with 3 stars of the game: Emma Mitchell, Kaya Schultz, Gianna Festino.
So I'm Ryan Lowy from D1 Media Pro, and I'm joined with senior Kaya Schultz and junior Kylie Capstraw. West Orange girls varsity basketball season is over.
Here with West Orange girls varsity coach Sean DeVore. Russo after a 5-0 victory for West Orange over Newark Central.
Welcome back. You were wondering why we're delayed? Well, we have the answer for you. We are awaiting the field umpire, 2 umpires in high school baseball. And in a game this important, you can't really just run the game with 1 umpire, especially considering how close it is. And every out matters in this game, Alex. So I think one of the things that always distracts a pitcher or a hitter is the weather, and that is why we bring in not Alex Weiss, but AccuWeather Weiss.
Well, Ryan, right now in Livingston, Essex County, New Jersey, home to today's ball game. It's a clean 80 degrees. It's going to get up to 82, low of 55 today, so a 30-degree give or take spread. We're 19 minutes now past scheduled first pitch. By 2 p.m. it's going to get up to 81. It's going to dip down to 79 at 3, and if we're still here at 4, it will be 82 degrees. UV index is at 9, so those in attendance should be wearing sunscreen. Wind is 9 miles an hour right now. And that is all I have for today's segment of AccuWeather Weiss, Ryan.
Alex, if you can get any more detailed, we'd love it. You know, we were planning for about a 10, maybe 15-minute pregame show. This has really turned into a whole hour bubble.
Yeah, this is...
We are awaiting the second umpire to arrive here at Livingston High School. We don't really have much for you to tell you, besides the fact that you should really tune into all baseball games here on the NFH Network presented by D1 Media Pro. We're covering games across the state of New Jersey.
Well, one thing we noticed is we went over to talk to the Livingston team and coaches during that last commercial break. Quite the showing for Livingston today. Parents, fans, and students of Livingston High School alike supporting the Lancers.
Alex, look to your left. We have a lot of Clifton fans as well.
We do. A lot of maroon in the stands here. Something I noticed about Livingston is that a lot of the girls from the softball team are here today. A very talented softball team, sectional champs for the 2nd year consecutively. A lot of commits to play softball at the collegiate level. Some going to Stetson, Drew, so some very good schools that will be receiving senior Lancers in the next softball season.
Yeah, not only that, sophomore Sophia Mount has been raking up the strikeouts in the state of New Jersey. One of the top pitchers in the state of New Jersey she's turned herself into. No doubt about it, one of the top sophomores in New Jersey as well. She's likely going to get some options as well. Good freshman class coming up. Allie Nagy-Vell doing an excellent job with the bat for Lancer softball. We're getting ready to go with some baseball here, just awaiting the arrival of the second umpire. Both teams rightfully don't want to play 1 umpire baseball on a great day like this. With the importance of this baseball game, I think it would be a different story if we were playing the game in late April, maybe early May, you know, some mid-season action, getting ready for the county tournament. But this is playoff baseball, Alex. This is do-or-die baseball, since both teams don't have any regular season contests on the schedule left.
Well, this is, like you mentioned, it's hard to stress the gravity that this game has. Potentially the last game for the seniors on both sides. A revenge game for Clifton and a way to Livingston to reaffirm their dominance over the Mustangs. As I mentioned, they defeated them in this tournament last year in the semifinal round. So rightfully so, we're not playing ball until we have 2 umpires. And in the case where they were to start with 1 umpire and there was a close play at second that the home umpire couldn't really get a good view of, obviously no matter the call, one of the sides is going to be upset with it, and that's not something you want to risk happening, especially in a game of this magnitude. So although it's a bit annoying and tedious to wait, that's what we're going to do, and word on the street is that the second umpire will be here momentarily, and then we just have to wait for our Star-Spangled Banner and some other formalities, and then we'll play ball.
Now, before we go to commercial break, once again, I'd like to say there is a 3rd team in town watching today's baseball game. That is the West Orange Mountaineers. They're taking on Hackensack tonight. Of course, they're anticipating a victory. They're taking on a 16-seeded program. You know, don't doubt them. They have over 8 wins on the year, which is pretty impressive. They are the 16th seed. They took down the number 1 seed Montclair Mounties. So West Orange is going to have to get through them. But if they're able to win that game, they're taking on the winner of this one. No matter what, they're guaranteed good semifinal baseball.
Well, without a doubt, Ryan. And you mentioned, obviously, West Orange taking on Hackensack, who defeated Montclair in the round of 16. Montclair has been a force to be reckoned with in North New Jersey baseball in the last couple of years. They took down Seton Hall a few years ago in the GNT Championship, and they won this very Section 1 Group 4 tournament last year, as I mentioned, defeating Livingston by the 10-run mercy rule in the finals. And quite honestly, I was unable to watch the Hackensack Montclair game. I do not know how that transpired, but the final score doesn't lie. 2-1 Hackensack. They played better baseball, and they are very deserving of this opportunity to play a very good West Orange team later today. And the applause starts as we have a second umpire making his way down the first base line, and we are just moments away now from quarterfinal baseball here at the Section 1 Group 4 tournament here at the Oval in Livingston, New Jersey.
Alex, you know what that means when we come back. First pitch and baseball on the NFHS Network, presented by D1 Media Pro.
All right, team, listen up. You all have been missing way too many plays. And it's time to make some changes, effective immediately. You'll all be joining my team, the NFHS Network. If it happens in high school, we got it covered. We've got your favorite high school sports wherever you want them, whenever you want them. Streaming live or on demand. Plus, with a few well-executed moves here, here, and here, you can find and follow your favorite school or team.
But what if I...
Hey! There is no I in the word team, but there is in the word clip, which is what you can do with our new Clip and Share tool. Watch the game, clip the moment, share it with all of your fans. It's simple, people. When you're teamed up with the NFHS Network, there's no excuse to miss another play. Now you get out there and you watch some sport.
High school sports fans, relive your favorite moments. Just click the shopping cart below the video player and select DVD or digital copy to get yours today.
The fourth-seeded Livingston Lancers host the fifth-seeded Clifton Mustangs. Livingston 18-8, Clifton 19-5. Game number 25 for Clifton on the year. For Livingston, game number 27. The winner has a date versus Hackensack and West Orange. Whoever wins that game, which will be played tonight at 7 p.m. at West Orange High School. Livingston has taken the field. Clifton are coming to hit. And hitting for Clifton, Juan Peralta, Kyle Ellis, Yuris Polanco, Duup, and Alex. Who are they taking on the mound?
Well, Ben Hauser will be pitching today for the Lancers. And as I mentioned before, his senior campaign has been nothing short of extraordinary. He's pitched 39 innings coming into today, 37 strikeouts, boasting a 1.26 earned run average. You see his brother Aaron, the junior, giving ground balls to his infield. Scott Schroeder at second, Ullman at short, and Levine at third. And then Fusari, Kenny, and Schultz left to right in the outfield, as we mentioned before, and obviously Side doing the dirty work behind the dish today. The Van Halen is bumping. The fans are ready to watch some baseball. And Ben Hauser looks locked in here on the Oval. He's been, as I mentioned, phenomenal this season, and he's looking to continue that success against a very, very skilled lineup at the Clifton Mustangs boast.
So Side will throw it down. We are ready to go. Leading off, number 2, Juan Peralta, the shortstop and the senior middle infielder, leads the team with 35 hits on the year, as well as home runs with 6. And he is going to step in to get this game started. 23 RBIs he has as well. He leads the team in a lot of statistics, Alex. It is an excellent day for baseball. Let's get going.
And Peralta's been amazing. He's hitting .438 coming into today, .862 slugging percentage, and 80 at-bats, 35 hits, 23 runs batted in. Just saying his stats that he beats the team in.
Clifton is ready. Livingston is ready. The umpires are here and ready. Let's play baseball. Quarterfinal round. Section 1, Group 4. First pitch in there for a strike. Weather is excellent. Thank you for joining us. Sorry for the 25-minute delay. My name is Ryan Lamb. I'm joined with Alex Weiss from the broadcast and the D1 Media Pro page on the NFHS Network, the official way to watch high school sports across the United States.
All right.
Hauser's breaking ball is popped up deep in left field, and this one will be taken care of by Fusari for the first out of the ball game. One away. Peralta goes down on an F7, and that will bring up Kyle Vellis.
As I was saying before, Ryan, first pitch 29 minutes after scheduled time. Now, as we see Kyle Vellis step in, leads his team in bases stolen, so if he gets on against a very skilled Ben Hauser, he'll be something to watch for him. I would imagine Aaron Hauser will hold him close.
Pitch number 3 of the ball game. In there for a strike. That's the second fastball thrown, as the middle pitch that we've seen today was popped up to left field and caught as a breaking ball curveball.
Vellis is also one of 4 Mustangs to go yard this season. He has 1 homer on the year.
0-1. Grounded off of Hauser's glove. Schroeder will have to handle it and run over to first and make the play. With the throw to Hauser, we have 2 away in 4 pitches. A 4-3 in the scorebook, Alex. That brings up Darius Polanco.
Yeah, very efficient first 4 pitches for Ben Hauser as we see Polanco step in. Polanco's been solid this season. On a very limited Clifton Mustangs roster, he is also one of 4 Mustangs to hit a home run. He also has a triple on the year. So he can hit the ball hard and he can hit it far, Ryan. Let's see how he does here.
Misses for a ball, and the count is 1-0.
Well, Hauser, we talked about on the broadcast Wednesday, is a multi-sport athlete. He's listed at 4 positions on the football team: wide receiver, tight end, outside linebacker, and punter. And he'll be taking his punting talents to play at Florida Atlantic University come next fall.
Hauser steps off. Again, we're getting that little nice breeze and a little break from the sun.
It's a picture perfect day for baseball, Ryan.
2 up and 2 down. Hauser trying to work 1, 2, 3. 29 minutes late to get this game started. Fouled away near the Lancer parent section, and the count's 1-1.
Nice Lancer parent fielding that one on the 1 hop, throwing it to a little kid, and obviously the classy thing to do early on in this ball game.
Polanco, the third baseman, wears number 23, stepping in the righty batter's box for the Mustangs. Ball 2, as that one's just a shy bit high, 2-1, in a 3-pitch at-bat so far.
That's something I'm noticing, Ryan. Neither team has a single player sitting in the dugout. Every single player in both teams is on their feet. A very important game, as we mentioned before, and everyone knows it. You can see the energy here early on.
Just got a piece of it foul to the back fence, and the count's now 2-2. 3 2s on the scoreboard, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top half of the first inning of baseball on the D1 Media Pro page on the NFHS Network, presented by NG Orthopedics. Hauser takes his sign. Just got a piece of that one foul, too. Everyone parked around the Oval. Good attendance today here at the Oval, just across the street from the police station. And, of course, as well, the office of the mayor of Livingston. Over 31,000 people live in this town. Over 2,000 go to this school. And over 18 on this baseball team as that breaking ball fits in there for strike 3. 1, 2, 3, go the Mustangs. Go to the bottom half. Lancers come to hit. On the D1 Media Pro page on the NFHS Network.
All right, team, listen up. You all have been missing way too many plays. And it's time to make some changes. Effective immediately. You'll all be joining my team, the NFHS Network. If it happens in high school, we got it covered. We've got your favorite high school sports wherever you want them, whenever you want them. Streaming live or on demand. Plus, with a few well-executed moves here, here, and here, you can find and follow your favorite school or team.
But what if I...
Hey! There is no I in the word team, but there is in the word clip, which is what you can do with our new Clip and Share tool. Watch the game, clip the moment, share it with all of your fans. It's simple, people. When you're teamed up with the NFHS Network, there's no excuse. to miss another play. Now you get out there and you watch some sports. Your high school, your team, your game, streaming live only on the NFHS network. Who's gonna slap that hand?
Apologies for the technical difficulties, but we are back. The count is 0-2, runners on second and third. Not sure what you missed, but Hauser and Levine both had singles, and then Kukuza went down on strikes.
That was a drop throw that advanced both runners, and that's how we got here. It's going to be a much better matchup here for Rogers.
Grounded.
Lefty on lefty.
This one right past the second baseman, Luis Rivera. It's an RBI single. They're going to wave the runner home for 2 RBIs. Levine goes down to throw, does not hit Donata's glove. Hauser will make his way to second. It's a 2 RBI single, and the Lancers now have a 2-0 lead in the bottom half of the first.
Come on, 7, pick your head up.
That was a really close play at second. Rivera almost able to get a glove on it and snow cone that ball, not quite. Ends up making its way to the outfield, 2 runs cross. And very early on here, only 1 away here in the first, we have a 2-0 ball game. Home Lancers in front.
So that's a single for Hauser. And here's number 20, Miles Side.
Let's go, 7.
So we have 1 away and a runner on second base. The catcher digs in. First pitch in the dirt, and it counts 1-0. So the count is 1-0. Livingston on their feet, Alex. They get this one started.
And rightfully so. It's a great inning so far. Now there's a runner on third for Side to knock in. And Side's been very good at the plate this year. In 69 at-bats, 20 hits, 12 runs batted in. Looking to make that lucky number 13 with 1 out in the first.
In there for a strike, and the count's now 1-1.
And as I mentioned before, it's tough for a lefty pitcher at any level to work on a right-handed batter. Obviously, lefties benefit with lefty batters, but Hauser is able to work around that and knock in 2.
1-1, 1 out. This one is punched foul down the third base line, and the count's 1-2.
One more, baby.
And despite the struggles early on here for Kyle Rogers, we've seen some nasty stuff. He has a fastball with good velocity. He has a breaking ball that really does move. So I think he just hasn't been able to get into his groove thus far. And if he can push past this rough first inning, I think we're going to see some very good pitching from the man standing on the bump for Clifton.
Time is called as Side takes his time to get back into the batter's box. He's down in the count 1-2 with 1 away.
Hauser takes a sign from the first base coach.
Come on, Crow.
Runner off a third in the pitch. Cut on and missed. Struck him out, and there's now 2 away. They will get him out on drop strike 3. So Side goes down swinging. That'll bring up Brandon Kenny.
Let's go, baby.
Kenny will dig in as the center fielder today. Runner on third for the Lancers.
We mentioned the changes to the Lancer outfield courtesy of Coach McGinnis. Hauser coming in. That moves Kenny from right to center, which is where he played on Wednesday. And then the freshman, Julian Schultz, stepping in a big role to play right field against this Clifton Mustangs lineup.
Misses for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Lancers played 2 runs in the bottom half of the first inning. Single from Hauser, single from Levine, and then single from junior Aaron Hauser, the 1-0. Check swing, and he went around there. The count's 1-1. Alex, brilliant weather today.
As I mentioned before, a picture-perfect day for baseball. The low 80s, a little bit warm, but wind sporadically here in Livingston, so it's bearable. The sun is shining. It's beautiful out, Ryan.
Pitch in the dirt. The count's 2-1.
On the year, Brandon Kenny has walked 14 times. That leads all Lancers. And he's close to drawing number 15 as he sees a hitter's count 2-1.
The 2-1, 2 away. And this pitch is going to get Kenny on the arm and put runners on the corners for the Lancers with 2 away. So Kenny is plunked, hit by pitch in the scorebook. That'll bring up Julian Fusari.
Fusari in left field today, playing 7 rather, and hitting 7 in the lineup.
Let's go, 7, let's go, baby.
So Fusari will now dig on in. Time is called. Catcher Angel Urdanata will give his team signs. 1-2-3 went Clifton down in the top half of the first. So apologies for the technical difficulties in the bottom half as Hauser and Levine both singled, and then Hauser brought them home, which you saw.
It's Ben Hauser who singled and Aaron who drove in the runs.
Pitch in there for a strike, and the count is 0-1.
In 63 at-bats this year, 19 hits for Julian Fusari. Also drawn 11 walks. Something to watch out for a potential bases loaded situation for the second base, or excuse me, the shortstop, Dom Ullman.
And they're gonna check first base. Kenny's back in there, safe. So the 0-1 to Fusari. And the pitch. Kenny goes, they will throw down to second, and he will be cut off, and oh, looks like they have Hauser on a run down. The throw to third, they got him! A tricky play by Clifton. Earning out a fake to throw down. Rogers cut it off at the pitcher's mound. Hauser was already halfway down to home, and they got him trying to go back to third, and that will do the inning, but not after the Lancers play two. Once again, Ben Hauser with the single, Dan Levine with the single. Hauser brought them home, got himself a run down at third after Kenny got hit by a pitch at first. As he went down to second, the throw down was cut off, and they were able to trick Aaron Hauser into a rundown to meet his fate. We go to the second, 2-0, Lancers.
Do you want your school to be covered by the #1 live stream service in the state of New Jersey so the entire country can see moments like this?
We play once again. Free kick coming for the Mountaineers. Short shot on goal. On post. And Livingston gets the goal, and they win. They take down the #2 ranked Seton Hall Pirates.
Bullock takes the snap. He's going to take it himself. Barreling towards the goal line, and he's in. Carriage Bullock from 3 yards out. And the Marauders lead it 20-7.
Or be a witness to championships like these.
Montclair are state sectional champions. They defeat Livingston 4-1. And the Mounties sweep the boys and girls brackets.
Welcome back. We are now going to reiterate what happened in the bottom half of the first. The Lancers took a 2-0 lead.
So Ben Hauser and Daniel Levine both singled on the first pitches they saw. First and second, Kakuza struck out, but Hauser, Aaron Hauser that is, hit a single that he was stretched into a double off of a fielder's choice. That scored 2. Side then struck out. Kenny was hit by a pitch, and Kenny tried to take second, and they threw the pitch to the pitcher in Rogers and caught Hauser breaking for home. 2-0 ball game is where we stand right now as Hauser puts his first pitch in the strike zone. 0-1 is the count to the pitcher Rogers.
And in the top half of the first inning, 1-2-3 went the Mustangs. Alex says I thank you, and the 0-1 pitches in the dirt, and the count's now 1-1. Hauser's pitch count actually being saved as that first inning, we saw 2 or 3 pitch at-bats for the first 2. Then a roughly 7 pitch at-bat for the third hitter within Yuri's Polanco. He did a great job defending the plate.
He good job protecting with 2 strikes. But only 11 pitches for Hauser in that first frame, so if he continues that, he's going to be able to go a long way in this game.
Foul tipped, and the count is now 1-2.
Rogers has been good at the plate this year. He has 31 hits and 72 tries. That's good for a good for a .431 batting average, .569 slugging percentage, both second on the Mustangs.
1-2, cut on and missed, struck him out. First down of the second inning.
Let's go 3.
And that is the second strikeout of the day there for Hauser. 4 retired straight. Here's Brian Feliciano.
That's 4 pitches so far for Hauser. Something to watch out for here. He's been very efficient. Through 1 1/3, only 15 pitches.
Let's go, Brian!
We also have some PCTI personnel here at the Oval. Potential matchup later on.
Yeah, we do. Keen eye, Alex. Everybody's scouting. Trying to get a hold of this bracket that's been a mess so far after Montclair's departure to Hackensack.
If either one of these teams was to reach the finals, that is where they could potentially play PCTI, but not before then. So very advanced scouting from the PCTI coaches, and good job on their part to know who they could be facing.
Bunt pulled back, but the pitch is in there for a strike. PCTI shortstop doing quite the job. Natsier Mule this year did a little bit of pitching, but due to arm constraints, he's held himself to the shortstop position, which is totally fine because he's quite the brick over there.
Got to have a good shortstop. the quarterback of the infield, the most important position. And we see Dom Ullman there for the Lancers today.
Fouled away, 1 and 2. That one hit the screen, protecting the Lancers coaching staff and scorekeepers. 1-2 count, 1 away here in the top half of the second. Lancers, and 3 hits so far, were able to play 2 runs out of it. It's a 2 RBI single for Aaron Hauser.
And as I was saying, Juan Peralta over at the 6th spot for the Mustangs.
And here's the 1-2, 1-out pitch. Strike 3, fastball, got him. That's strikeout number 3 on the day. Second looking one. Hauser is dealing 2 away here in the top half of the second. And this is how you get confidence, and this is how you build momentum. Strikeout after strikeout after strikeout on the mound, throwing the ball around, keeping that infield ready to go with hot hands.
That's 3 straight strikeouts, Ryan, to finish the first, and on the first 2 batters in the second. Rogers and Feliciano, both went down on 4 pitches.
Reed squibs this one to second. Schroeder's second play of the day will do the job to end the second inning. That's a 1-pitch 3rd out. Scored 4-3. So the Lancers will come to hit. Last time they did quite some damage. Let's see if they can do it again next on the NFHS Network.
One of New Jersey's premier high school basketball teams gets their coverage from D1 Media Pro. And it goes like this.
Finds Floyd to tie things up. Tie game! 62 apiece. 90 seconds.
Floyd attacking and throws it down. Corey Floyd. A missed opportunity down low behind the back to Bueno and one. Lawrence with Floyd. He'll lob it up for the slam. Too low for Dunn. Wilcher to Floyd. Lays it in and one on the lob.
Thought about the 3. Drives baseline. Oh, what a start for Corey Floyd.
Here with Corey Floyd after a tough...
Wilcher, 3. Got it. Simeon Wilcher is fired up.
And Simeon Wilcher all alone with the flush. Here with Simeon Wilcher. And a pass taken away by Marshall. And he'll throw it down. Tosses it ahead to Valencia. Sering driving and throws it down. He can't get around, and a turnover. Corey Floyd has it. Step through, lay in, through the basket. Marcus Cerroti here with Roselle Catholic head coach Dave Boff. Dave, you're coming up.
Now it's your time to join.
Bottom half of the second inning. We're making up for that half-hour delay due to umpire arrival timing. That was a quick inning, Alex. 1, 2, 3, 2 straight strikeouts, then a 1-pitch squib to second base that was handled by Schroeder and Hauser.
Yeah, 9 pitches in that inning for Ben Hauser. That's 20 in the game so far through 2. As you see, Fusari step in for, I guess, the first and a half time, because that first time technically does not count as an at-bat, as Hauser was caught breaking for home. So he'll step in for the second time.
Upstairs for a ball and the counts 1-0. You know, Alex, that is something that you practice all year, and you've probably thrown in some regular season contests, and you showcase that in the playoffs is quite scary. And as you said, PCTI, now the highest seed due to Montclair's departure, they just saw that, so that could be a breaker if they're able to get past Livingston, but that was still quite the play. That really garnered some momentum back. They're only down by 2 runs. That one misses, interestingly, 3-0.
For those of you who missed it, Kenny was on first, Hauser on third. Kenny broke for second. The catcher, Vidanetta, faked the throw to second, actually threw it back to the pitcher, Rogers. Kenny slid in safe, but Rogers had the ball on the mound. Hauser thought the ball had gone over his head.
Hold on, Alex. This one popped up to center field. This one will be caught on the run by Connor Reed. First out of the bottom half of the second inning. Connor Reed getting athletic.
It's a great catch by Reed there. But as I was saying, Vidanetta threw the ball. Hauser thought it went to second to try and get Kenny stealing. So he broke for home, thinking the ball was all the way across the diamond. But in reality, the ball was in the glove of Rogers, who threw to Vidanetta, who threw it over to Polanco at third, who was able to tag Hauser, who went in standing, cut on a miss there by Ullman.
0-1 count out of Dominic Ullman as he took a hard cut and a miss at the high fastball, quickly moving on the mound as this one is fouled away. Kyle Rogers doing quite well himself with placement too, but you know, Livingston really getting their bats on the baseball. You saw that little liner to center there by Fusari. It was powerful with the bat.
Yeah, but if you look at it objectively, Ryan, 2 strikeouts and 3 singles. Not a horrible inning. It's just circumstantially 2 runs did score because of the wheels that Maiello, the pinch runner, and Levine both have shown time and time again throughout the season that they can move on the base path.
Pitch upstairs for a ball, and then that one in the dirt, and now the count is 2-2 with 1 away. Last night, softball non-public brackets met its completion as both Donovan Catholic and Morris Catholic were able to repeat non-public A and non-public B feats and qualify for the final ever Tournament of Champions. We're waiting on the public school victors to meet the 6 seeds. As that one is in there for strike 3. A nice little inside pitch that Ullman just could not read as a strike, so he goes down looking. That brings up the 9-hitter, Scott Schroeder.
It's a great pitch there from Rogers, right on the inside corner, throwing across his body from lefty to righty. And just like that, 2 down.
Schroeder puts the bat down for a bunt, and he drops the barrel, makes contact, and it flies on behind, and the count's 0-1.
Well, Ryan, I think at least you're going to say it anyway, but does Schroeder's family have any baseball experience?
Not that I know of. No, I'm just kidding. Father was formerly the varsity coach for the Livingston Lancers. That pitch in the dirt. He did it for a long, long time before Coach Ennis received the promotion. He then moved to work with the son of his former collegiate coach at Seton Hall University, Coach Shepard of Morristown Beard, a non-public B favorite. They won their section last year, lost in the finals as that pitch is in the dirt. And now the count is 2-1. They lost to Holy Spirit. My apologies on not finishing that sentence. The count is 2-1 with 2 away to Scott Schroeder. Once again, Alex, we love today's attendance as Rogers will now get ready to deal the 2-1 with 2 away. And that one is out of the glove of Urdanata, 3-1.
Well, Schroeder's father is also a physical education teacher here at Livingston High School.
The Livingston family showing off. And the 3-1 pitch just misses a little high. 4-4, runner on first base. As this will now bring up the top of the order for Livingston. Ben Hauser digs in, number 31 for the Lancers. Five-pitch walk to Schroeder. Hauser digs in with 2 away. Lancers trying to get a 2-out rally, add on to that 2-run lead they currently hold. Thank you for joining us here on this wonderful June 4th morning into afternoon. Breaking ball. Misses for a ball, and the count's 1-0. Again, Alex, kind of hard to take a lead with a lefty on the mound.
It is. You see his chest facing towards first base, so not a lot of leeway for Schroeder, who can run.
And they'll check him once again. He's sliding in safe. Alex, this is probably the most controversial brackets to make a prediction.
It is, and as I mentioned before, Schroeder can run 2 bags taken on the year.
They're going to call that one a strike, and the count's 1-1.
Let's go, 7!
A decent lead for Schroeder off of first. Check him again, he's in safe.
Hauser stepping in, as you mentioned, for the 2nd time today. Singled in his first at-bat, then made it to second on the Levine single. He was then pinch ran for by Maiello, who scored on his brother Aaron Hauser's line drive to the outfield.
2-1. Pitch misses. Clifton brought in a nice attendance today.
They did.
Lots in front of us as well.
Lots of maroon we can see up and down this third baseline.
Here's the 2-1. This one is slammed right by the glove of the diving Luis Rivera. Going for third now is Schroeder. He's going to have to go down as the throw is offline. Now going to second is Hauser. That's a nice piece of contact. Runners now on second and third for the Lancers. They're trying to play more than just 2. 2-out little rally coming in.
Well, now we'll see Levine step in with runners in scoring position. He singled in his first at-bat. But now we've seen both Hauser brothers hit a line drive just out of the reach of second baseman Luis Rivera. And as I mentioned in pregame, Daniel Levine did struggle a little bit yesterday. He went 0 for 3, but so far 1 for 1 today. And with 2 runners in scoring position, he's really looking to give the Lancers some more cushion here in the second.
Breaking ball in there for a strike. The pinch runner at second base for the Lancers is going to be Joseph Maiello. Maiello did not play in the first round. He was scheduled to hit the bump, but was not needed due to some great pitching, as that pitch is cut on and missed by another player taking a rest today so far. The count is now 0-2.
And we saw Maiello getting ready to pitch, but it was not needed as John De Palma had a stellar performance. Complete game, 5 hits, 1 earned, a walk, and 4 strikeouts, left 6 runners stranded in that performance, Ryan.
This one is popped up deep to center field. Connor Reed is under it, and that will be the 3rd out of the inning. So the Lancers strand a pair in scoring position, can't add on to that 2-0 lead that they have. Clifton will now come to hit to get this quick-moving top half of the 3rd inning underway next on the NFH's Network.
Are you interested in pursuing a career in sports marketing or creating impactful sports content? You can get experience in high school by being a part of the RISE program powered by Ortho Carolina. It will give you a head start on an exciting career. The RISE program exposes students to industry professionals and gives them real-world experience by creating content and marketing the teams at their own high school. To find out how you can be a part of RISE, email us at contact@readinessandsportseducation.org.
Top half of the 3rd inning, getting ready to get started. I am not surprised they put Ben Hauser back on the bump. The righty is doing some good damage today for Livingston, as Clifton is yet to put a hit on today. So technically, by standards, it's a no-hitter.
Yeah, I don't want to say the words, but the initials PG is what we have so far for Ben Hauser through 2. That's including 3 strikeouts through 6 batters. Only 20 pitches have come out of the hand of Hauser in his first 6 outs. We'll see Rivera, Nunez, and Riordan, the DH, step in. That's the due-up for your Clifton Mustangs in the 3rd inning, Peralta, the leadoff hitter, would be next in the event that someone reaches, Ryan.
Alex, everyone was probably asking for a clean, quick start to the ballgame due to the roughly half-hour delay, just a minute under a half-hour, 29-minute wait. And that's exactly what they got. We're already in the 3rd inning of action. Livingston has plated 2 runs, put 3 hits in, even more than that later on. Everyone's really just doing a great job for Livingston, specifically defensively as well. We've seen a complete game go, specifically from the start of Ben Hauser, as he's trying to look for strikeout number 4. And he will wind and deal in the dirt for a ball that counts 1-0.
4 hits through 2 from this Lancers lineup. As we saw in the 2nd inning there, Rogers able to settle in a little bit better. He did get the last 3 hitters, rather, of this Lancers lineup. So a little bit easier for him, as obviously a little bit less of a challenge than Hauser, Levine, Kakuza, and Hauser, the first 4. Regardless, though, good inning for Rogers, and he's looking to continue that dominance.
Pitch in there for a strike, and the count's 1-1. Just misses the zone. That one is a ball, and the count's 2-1. And obviously, as you can see, Hauser struggling to find that spot that he just consistently hit in the top half of the 1st and even the top half of the 2nd inning.
Yeah, he was pounding the zone through the first 6 batters.
Fouled away, 2-2.
And that one looked like it stung the hands of Rivera. Looked up and in. Those are the ones that'll get you.
The second baseman, Luis Rivera, with a 2-2 count.
No relation to Coach Joe Rivera.
Grounded to Schroeder. He bobbles, and he will still make the play anyway. For the 1st out of the inning, the perfect game lives on.
You're gonna jinx it, Ryan, as that's the 3rd time we've seen a ground ball just out of the reach of Hauser get into the glove of second baseman Schroeder and thrown out to Hauser. 4-3 for the 3rd time in 2 1/3.
Again, if the Lancers win this, it's game number 19 for them on the year, and Clifton will hit that 20-win marker. 19-5 their record.
Impressive on a lot of levels to reach the big 2-0, especially in a campaign looking to win the Section 1 Group 4 tournament.
Got on and missed a hard one there, and the count's 0-1. We saw Seton Hall break 20 wins for yet another year. They just keep winning more than 20 games. Actually, a couple of years ago, they won 30 games as they were able to beat Bergen Catholic and move on to the semifinal round. 0-1. in the dirt, 1-1.
Well, Coach Shepard and company over at Seton Hall have done such a good job and obviously they've had an abundance of players come in. You know, obviously being a private school, not affiliated with one town or district, but from top to bottom, from the AD, the coaching, and the players themselves, it's been such a good program, so fun to watch this season and for a very long time.
Oh, and this one's gonna get a hard piece of Nunez. And that'll be the first base runner of the day for the Stangs. And we'll have to see what Nunez does on the base pass to cause some havoc for this clean Livingston team so far. This will bring up Owen Riordan, the 9th hitter in the lineup for the Mustangs. He wears number 34. He's designated hitting. Gardenata, the catcher for Clifton, as the top of the order is awaiting on deck.
Carlos Nunez has taken 4 bags this year in 64 plate appearances. So it wouldn't be a surprise if we see him run here, especially with a right-handed pitcher, his back towards his brother Aaron.
Some action in the Mustangs bullpen. Pitch in there for a strike. 1 out runner on first base and 1 strike. No balls to Riordan.
That is not Kyle Rogers in the bullpen for the Mustangs, rather, excuse me, I'm not sure. I do not have a great view of...
Looks to be number 15.
If that's the case, that'll be Jeremy Sanchez getting the Mustangs.
Pitch upstairs for a ball that counts 1-1. Great weather, no wind. The 1-1, 1 out. The umpire now exchanging words, which it seems like, with the Mustangs, trying to keep them within the protective areas. The dugouts here, quite protective, unlike what we see at Caven Point in Jersey City, where they're open cased. Oh, now the home plate umpire is going to walk over to the Clifton bench. Let's listen in.
In the dugout. Spread it out. Thank you, gentlemen.
So Clifton has just exchanged words with the home plate umpire about where to stand when not in play, or if you're on deck. They were trying to fight to stay as close as possible to staying out of the dugout, just, you know, trying to get into the shoes of the Livingston defense. First runner on the day is on first base. That's Nunez, who took a hit by pitch. And now 2 balls and a strike. Jordan. In the Clifton bullpen, 2 hour left. We're trying to get a word on who that is as we speak. The 2-1 now.
I believe I saw a 1-2. My eyes may be deceiving me.
Pitch in there for a strike. The count is 2-2.
Again, the stats provided for us show a very limited Mustangs roster, and we can see in the dugout as well, not a lot of guys on this team. So I'm curious to see who Coach Rivera has going to replace the struggling Rogers.
They're going to say that was a foul ball as it hit him as it rolled in front of home plate. 2-2-1 away. Do it once again. Once again, the Clifton bullpen in action. I see a 1-5. Actually, no, I see a 1-3. Confirmation that is hard. Number 13.
And if that's it,
we're going to get a word on who number 13 is for Clifton. Warming up very soon, and that is Luis Rivera. In there, strike 3. 2 away.
We got him looking there.
That'll bring up the top of the order with Juan Peralta.
4th strikeout for Hauser on the day.
Hauser raking up the strikeouts today. We saw O'Neill in our last broadcast reach 101 strikeouts. Came into the game with 92, reached 101 in Morristown's first round loss to Livingston, which got them here today. And Hauser wants to chase that in 1 game. They're going to check the runner at first. He's in safe. Obviously, I was joking. 2 away here in the top half of the 3rd.
Well, if that's Luis Rivera, as it looks like it very well just might be, coming into pitch for the Mustangs. He's pitched 35 innings, 32
Runner goes,
hits.
pitch fouled away, 0-1.
As I was saying, 35 innings pitched, 32 hits given up. That's 20 runs, 14 of which were earned. 41 batters have gotten the K, plunked 2 with a 2.8 ERA. So a very solid season thus far for Rivera, and a disappointing outing for the starting pitcher, Kyle Rogers, if that's it for him.
The 0-1. Runner goes once again, cut on and missed. Throw down to second. Oh, couldn't be handled by Schroeder. It would have been close. Counts 0-2. Now a runner on second for the Mustangs. Nunez doing that damage on the base pass. He's the first runner in scoring position today in the third inning for the top half team, the visitors within the Clifton Mustangs. 5th seed in the tournament, Alex.
That was a great throw by side on that stealing attempt from Nunez. Unable to corral that ball. I believe the second baseman Schroeder, but it would have been a close play if he was able to receive that ball flawlessly.
Hauser steps off. Needs a second. Again, you can really see this oval is packed with cars surrounding the ball field. Everyone wants to just get a look, including PCTI, at who is going to move on to take on the winner of West Orange and Hackensack. You can imagine West Orange High School's parking lot's going to be full too, because a lot want to see what goes on. This is the most up-in-the-air section I think we've seen so far since Montclair's interesting departure.
Well, West Orange Hackensack, I think, is going to be a little bit of a less competitive game, just given the nature of...
Well, don't count Hackensack out, Alex.
You know, that was my next
You also
point.
can't forget what Barringer did, too.
That's true. But on the other side, West Orange did earn the 8th seed.
0-2 popped up towards third base going foul. Levine stretches and makes the catch. That's what long arms will do for you. They'll make key plays. That's the third out. We go to the bottom half of the third. And the Lancers are up 2-0.
Want to learn how to be a talk show host? Want to be a great play-by-play announcer?
That's good! You always have to be prepared for something to happen.
Thank you, Gary.
Sure, thank you, Matthew.
Good evening, everybody. Today is Super Bowl 54. The Kansas City Chiefs versus the San Francisco 49ers.
But sometimes there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot going on. There's a lot on your mind.
Arizona is a tough out right now.
I think the Chiefs come out of it.
He speaks beautifully.
To speak in front of people, learning how to have a conversation, learning to ask questions. These are skills that will help you in whatever you do in your life.
Another inning. The bottom half of the third inning. We're inching close to the halfway marker in this ball game. Livingston is up 2-0. They got themselves an early jump in the bottom half of the first inning after retiring Clifton 1-2-3. Alex, tell us what that bottom half of the first inning looked like.
Ryan, well, it started off with a line drive over the head of second baseman Luis Rivera off the bat of Ben Hauser. He then reached second on a single from Levine. Kukuza struck out number one. Aaron Hauser, though, brought in his brother, or rather, Maiello running for his brother, and Levine. So that was 2 RBI. He reached second base. Side struck out swinging. Kenny was plunked, and then while Fishari was in, on the complicated play we outlined before, Hauser was caught breaking for home. 2 runs across the Lancers, no runs since then for either side. As we see due up for the Lancers, LG Kukuza, the DH, first baseman, Aaron Hauser, and catcher Miles Side.
So we are getting ready to start the bottom half of the third inning here on the D1 Media Pro page on the NFH Network. I'm Ryan Lowy. He's Alex Weiss.
That's true.
And he, on camera, doing an excellent job today, is the world famous. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Nick.
Nick Baum on camera, famous MKA soccer player. Wow, what a season MKA soccer had. Prep B champions, 12-6-1 record to end the season under head coach Todd Leather. Well, let's get back to some public school baseball here.
Ryan, you'll notice Rogers still on the mound for the Mustangs. 4 hits through 2 runs, both earned, a walk, 3 strikeouts thus far for Rogers. And also 1 hit batter in Brandon Kenny way back in the first. Ryan, it feels like we're in a movie right now with the weather we have. It's a close game of baseball. You know, we see everyone out here, various ways of blocking the sun, hats, umbrellas, sunglasses. So that ball fouled off by Kukuza. We even see some tents to our right. Smart thinking here by the Mustang parents. Some spike ball going on down the first base line. Lots of fans on both sides. It's really a beautiful day for baseball here.
Yeah, a lot in attendance. Ball upstairs, 1-1. Nobody out. You know, you wouldn't be the best broadcaster if you mentioned so far that this has been somewhat of a pitcher's duel, the 1-1. This one is lined sky high to center field. Doesn't look like it's too much of a problem for Connor Reed to retire the first out of the bottom half of the third inning. 1 away. Kukuza an F8, 2 F8s in a row as Levine went down as well, flying out to Reed.
You also saw Fusari open up the second inning with the fly out to Connor Reed, standing in center field. And now the lefty on lefty matchup returns as Hauser steps in, Aaron Hauser that is.
First pitch in there for a strike.
A little bit
Hauser.
A little bit low, but you know, you're gonna get that pitch in high school baseball.
Chopped foul. 0-2. And now Alex, the sun is making its temporary departure. Really is a great day for baseball. It's been a couple days this season have just been absolutely flooded out. A lot of games had to take 2 days worth, including Clifton to take down Bergen Tech. You know, Bergen Tech, a low seed, but you know, they compete in Bergen County. That is very tough baseball. There's one whole division just filled with private school powers. This one popped up. This one is in shallow right field. And making the play, Carlos Nunez. 2 away.
Well, you mentioned the sun. Took a little dip behind the cloud there, and the breeze came in. It felt good. You know, it's hot. It's in the low 80s today. We'll see Side now step in. Went down swinging back in the first. He's looking to reach for the first time today.
Bottom half of the third, 2-0 Lancers. Side digs in. Takes one inside. Side struck out swinging in his first at-bat. Tried to reach on drop third strike, couldn't do the job. Count is now 1-0 to him.
Good awareness there to get out of the way of that inside fastball. Has to do a little maneuver with his pelvis.
Misses for a ball that counts 2-0.
You know, 2-0 count, a little bit nerve-wracking for Rogers on the outside, but you have to realize, you know, he's at 2 outs getting to the latter half of the Spencer's order, so.
Pitch in there for a strike. And now the count is now 2-1. That popped in another glove of Angel Urdanada, who is not hitting today. He's being designated hit for.
Designated hitter, today for the Mustangs. Number 34, hitting ninth.
Pitch
Riordan.
In the dirt, 3-1.
Owen Riordan, that is.
The count is now 3-1 and 2 away in the bottom half of the third inning. This one is popped up, golfed of sorts. Reed is there, coming on and making the play. 1, 2, 3, go the Lancers. We go to the fourth, 2-0. Livingston leads. Clifton coming ahead on the NFHS Network.
New Jersey, that was. I can't see it. Blacked out. It's blurred. Well, it's supposed to be blurry.
This one's obvious.
Blackhawks or Ducks?
So obvious.
Oh no! 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 Blackhawks! Blackhawks!
What did you say the first time? I didn't even
I
hear.
said Rangers, it's Blackhawks.
Yeah, it's Blackhawks.
I'm in Chicago was the home team twice, so you know this is not a gimme series for Edmonton. But I still make the other succinct.
Top half of the fourth inning. We're squeezing towards halfway there here in the quarterfinal matchup between Clifton and Livingston. A 5 versus 4 seed game. Kyle Vellis, the first baseman, rounded out to Schroeder at second base. Will lead off the inning. Little windy, little sunny, some clouds in the sky, no rain in the forecast. And obviously, as we're sneaking by summer, probably won't see any more snow for a while. First pitch fouled away, the count's 0-1.
Hauser's been great, Ryan. I mean, through 3 innings, 4 strikeouts. Something to note, 3 of them have been looking. So, really good stuff fooling the batters in this Mustangs lineup.
Did he go around on the pitch in the dirt? Yes, he did. As the field umpire counts 0-2. Alex, think he went around there?
I do. I think it was close, but I think his hands definitely did break, and you know, beneficial for Ben Hauser.
0-2. Breaking ball in there, strike 3. Side couldn't hold on to it, but he's able to tag Velis out.
4th strikeout looking for Hauser, 5th overall. As I mentioned, his stuff can really freeze these batters. Really good stuff from Hauser. He has his A game today, and he needs it in an ever so important quarterfinal game here in the Section 1 Group 4 North Jersey State Tournament.
Luis Polanco, one of Hauser's victims of the strikeout. He digs in.
Yeah, you also went down looking in the first.
Breaking ball, strike counts 0-1. Hauser's utilizing that breaking ball. We saw his first breaking ball today, popped up sky high. Looks like it's settled in.
And he's really been pounding that inside corner, especially against these right-handed batters. That's been his spot thus far.
Foul. That one will hit the Clifton dugout. 0-2 count. 1 away. 2-0 Lancers.
Fourth inning. Breaking ball here?
0-2, we saw the breaking ball cut in, you know, maybe. I wouldn't put the changeup in because Hauser threw a changeup and contact was made. 0-2, 1 away. In the dirt, nice block by Side. 1-2.
That's what I like to call a waste pitch, you know, 0-2, especially with no runners on. No shame in throwing a pitch that is low, trying to get him to dip at something, maybe a weak ground ball or a swing and a miss. Still a pitcher's count for Hauser. He's looking to retire for the 2nd time today. Polanco.
1-2, 1 away pitch. Strike 3. Perfect placement. 2 straight strikeouts in a row.
Both looking, Ryan.
That brings up Kyle Rogers, another victim of the strikeout. That's the 2nd strikeout that Polanco has endured today. As he walks into the Clifton dugout, 2 outs now in the bottom half of the 4th inning.
Rogers, the cleanup hitter, also the pitcher, went down swinging in the 2nd inning.
Rogers' advantage is his leftiness, as that one's fouled away. A lot of righty pitchers in high school baseball, lefty-righty, a comfortable matchup for the hitter.
Well, as I mentioned before, pitchers would much rather pitch to guys who are the same handness as them. Their breaking balls break away from them. That's a huge benefit, especially with a pitcher as good as Ben Hauser is. Now facing a lefty, he's going to have to switch up his stuff a little bit to retire the pitcher.
0-1, pitcher versus pitcher matchup. 0-2. Saw the same pitch and the same reaction. Now, Alex, that's that waste pitch you're talking about. Maybe we toss in a curveball here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, especially, you know, it's a harder at bat for Hauser, as I mentioned, with the guy standing in the lefty's batter's box. So I would not be surprised whatsoever if he almost acts like a bowler in cricket and throws this one short.
Strike 3. That one swinging. 3 straight strikeouts in a row. Hauser drank his coffee this morning, and it not only woke him up, but it woke his fastball up too. That will do the top half of the 4th. Lancers coming ahead up 2-0. NFHS Network.
All right, this is Adam, take 2. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
In the words of Bon Jovi, Alex, we're halfway there. Welcome back. Bottom half of the 4th inning of action. Lancers come and hit up 2-0. 1-2-3 went Clifton. Looking, swinging.
Yeah, it was a great performance, to say the least, by Hauser. Struck out the side, and we talked about during that inning the waste pitch. We saw not 1 but 2 guys go down on that waste pitch. A low ball. Sometimes doesn't even make it to the plate. That pitch that was able to get the best of Rogers did a swing and a miss, ball just below the strike zone. But for pitchers at every level, but especially against a batter to the opposite handness, as we saw Hauser pitching to a lefty, Hauser obviously being a righty, that waste pitch is ever so important to get a guy swinging at a pitch. And it's really hard for pitchers, as we said, to pitch to guys on the opposite side of the plate. But he's able to do so there against Rogers. As he said, looking, swinging. Hauser now 7 strikeouts on the day. Quite the performance he's having, and I will presume will continue to have into the 5th.
So Kenny will now lead off for the Lancers. Kenny hit by a pitch.
One more note, 5 strikeouts looking for Hauser. Very impressive stuff.
That means his placement's been on par with the umpires and not on par with Clifton.
Well, yeah, he's been freezing up Clifton batters. He's been doing good, changing up his pitches from fastball to off speed, really confusing the team wearing maroon today thus far, as we see Kenny dig in for the second time today. He was plunked in his first at-bat in the first inning.
Let's get the bottom half of the 4th started with a pitch in the dirt for a ball, and the count's 1-0. Rogers, the lefty hitter, lefty pitcher, went down in the batter's box, now hits the mound to try and keep it at a 2-0 Livingston lead, going into a fifth inning of hitting for the Mustangs. He's thrown 2 balls so far, one in the dirt, one high. To Kenny, Lancers quarterback, as that pitch is in the dirt, counts 3-0.
Something to take note of that might be of more importance later on in the game. Kenny is one of 4 Lancers to be stranded so far in 3 innings of baseball. So far the Lancers are looking comfortable, but if there's a situation where they're not, something to watch out for.
In there for a strike that counts 3-1.
I mentioned Kenny, the quarterback of the football team. As I mentioned in our last broadcast, 1,700 yards this season, 50% completion, 13 touchdowns.
Grounded to short. Peralta across the diamond. Got him! By inches. Kenny goes down on a 6-3. And that'll bring up Julian Fusari, left fielder.
A nice play by Peralta over at short to corral that ball and get it over in time. Kenny obviously with speed. We mentioned before, Mahomes-type quarterback, very mobile in the pocket and out of it. Did a good job getting down the line there, but no contest for the arm of Peralta. 1 away now.
Here's Fusari, and he takes a cut and a miss in the first pitch. Counts 0-1. Fusari flew out to center field. What a year Fusari's been having. Last year he played JV baseball. Actually didn't start a couple games as a junior, and he's really settled in this year just phenomenally. He fouls that one away.
19 for 63 on the year, batting a nice .302. So very comfortable year at the plate for Fusari, who's been very good in the outfield for these Lancers as well.
The 0-2, Rogers steps off. Fusari, where's number 33 for the Lancers? And that one's a ball that counts 1-2. Might have been the way Urdanata caught that one.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think if Urdanata is able to get glove to ball on that one, he calls that a strike. A very good pitch from Rogers, and I think he'll go back to that.
In the dirt on the breaking ball, counts now 2-2. Fusari worked back into the count.
I think we see a fastball here from Rogers. His gas has been good. He's been throwing hard. Wouldn't be surprised if he tries to blow one by Fusari here to get out number 2.
Foul tipped for strike 3. A forwards K for Fusari and brings up Dominic Ullman.
But Ryan, I hate to say I told you so, but we saw the fastball there cut on and tipped but caught by Urdaneta to retire Fusari. Now Ullman steps in. Went down looking in the second.
Grounds this one right past the third baseman's glove. And Ullman will dig for second. He is out. They got him. A beautiful throw from Brian Feliciano. And a beautiful tag put on from Luis Rivera. And that will do the 4th inning. So a single creditor to Ullman. Tried to dig for an extra bag. He couldn't do it. Coming ahead is Clifton next on the NFHS Network.
Screen pass, out in the flat, caught, and it's a touchdown for St. Peter's. O'Donnell swinging away, puts it over the shortstop's head. That's a base hit, it'll score 1. Ferraz on his way home. Throw is not in time. Going quickly, Bullock takes the snap, throws to the far side, wide open, touchdown. In there, called strike 3 looking. Mulcahy strikes out the side. He's perfect through 2. Now up ahead for the Marauders. Here comes Benkovich. They score! Michael Benkovich for St. Peter's Pep. Bounced on the ground to short. Faraz Fields flip to O'Donnell 1. Throw on to first in time for a double play. Just we'll look back out there for the Marauders. He takes the snap. Looking over the middle. Has a man. Can he scores? Reels it in. 35. Stick on to defenders. 2 on to the 20. Once again, hit in the air to deep center field. Sicka moving on the back at the wall. It's gone! Ellis Reed with a 2-run blast. And the Marauders have a 6-0 lead.
St. Peter's Prep has the best coverage for its student athletes. Why don't you?
Welcome back to the Oval. Ben Hauser takes the mound for inning number 5. And we'll just break down that play off the bat of Ullman. Hit a ground ball that was screaming down the third baseline out of the reach of Polanco. Tried to reach for second, but a beautiful throw by Brian Feliciano to get him out at second and end the inning. Susie Hauser kick and deal.
Here's Feliciano. Popped up. Catcher pop fly, and side just makes the play. The backspin threw him off. The wind might have helped the cause, Feliciano, but nonetheless, a phenomenal catching job there from side. He's second year in charge of that position, and the experience really just showed off there.
Yeah, well, the junior side wearing number 20 for the Lancers, great job tracking that ball. There was a gust of wind throughout that at-bat. Great job sticking with it with the backspin.
Fouled away. It's 2 straight pitches, contact made. And again, as you can see, side's rear end is quite dirty. So just a brilliant play there.
Yeah.
You know, not even discrediting him for misreading that baseball. The wind carried it. He fell back with it just brilliantly. He matched the wind pace.
That makes Feliciano for 2 on the day.
Off the plate, and counts now 1-1.
Reed grounded out to Schroeder, the second baseman, back in the second inning. Has not been up to the plate since then. Now with a 1-1 count with Hauser. Just one more thing on that play, that brilliant throw by Feliciano to nail Ullman out at second. Ullman has 4 bags stolen on the year, so he has speed, unable to show it there though.
In there for a strike that counts now 1-2.
Extremely efficient is Ben Hauser today. 5 1/3, very limited number of pitches, and he's been getting guys with command. Very few balls in play, as we've seen 7 strikeouts through 5 innings for Hauser.
Squibbed foul, and not out of play, but off the fence. Wasn't high enough for any Livingston player to get there in time to make it yet another out retired in foul territory this inning.
Well, I've said it once and I'll say it again. Perfect time for a waste pitch here. Pitcher's count 1-2 to a right-handed batter. We're going to see a breaking ball low here. I put money on it if I were of legal gambling age. But I'm not, so, you know.
Just a couple of years, Alex.
Yeah, almost there.
1-2, 1 away. Fouled once again on the line drive. Now, reverting back to the last half inning very quickly, Alex, do you think it was a smart move to send Ullman to second? Obviously, you know, he was out, but let's say you don't know if he's out or not. Would you have sent him there on a ground ball like that?
Well, I wasn't sure. I honestly didn't see the signal from the first base coach. I'm not sure if that was Ullman taking charge or if he was reading a signal. But Ullman, again, 4 bases taken on the year, so he has shown that he can move on the base path. I don't think it's a bad play. You know, making the second out at the second base isn't the end of the world, but...
Breaking ball cut on and missed. Strike 3.
I would have sent him. I would have. You see, brilliant pitch there to get strikeout number 8 for Hauser, the first time Reed goes down on strikes today. Now Rivera, who also grounded out to second base, him doing so to lead off the 3rd inning, stepping in. As we mentioned, no relation to Coach Joe Rivera, just a coincidence of the surname.
2 away. In there for a strike, and Alex, statistically, the no-hitter's alive.
It is, and I hate to jinx it for Ben Hauser. He's been phenomenal through 5 2/3. But you are correct, no hits thus far. No walks either, only a hit batter, separating him in the perfect game.
Breaking ball, strike 2. 2 straight strikes thrown. Hauser is getting comfortable on the bump. Livingston baseball.
I hate to sound like a broken record here, Ryan. Waste pitch.
You sound like a broken record.
It's just such a big part of the game, and Hauser really using that to his advantage.
Fouled away. That was a breaking ball there. You could tell that's how Rivera read it. It's definitely a curveball, not a slider. Had time to, even with the back adjustment, make contact and foul it away. Keep his at-bat alive.
Well,
0-2, 2 away.
Well, you're thinking a pitcher's count like that, 0-2, he'd go a little bit lower, not really give him anything and get sent to opposite field, but righty on righty, Hauser does have the advantage, especially with this count. So we'll see what he goes to now with 2 strikes and 2 out in the 5th.
Ball low. First non-strike pitched by Hauser in this at-bat.
There's that low fastball I was talking about. Very tempting to swing out for Rivera, but he's able to lay off the low ball. Borderline strike, but good call by the ump. And we'll see a 1-2 now from Hauser.
Breaking ball, just misses. Hauser was walking towards his dugout with frustration there. That was not strike 3.
Well, rightfully so for Hauser. I did think that pitch was in the strike zone. A little inconsistency from the home plate umpire today, but still a pitcher's count, and we'll see the 2-2 from Hauser.
Grounded to third. Levine on a hop. And that's overthrown. Rivera slides in safe to second base. That one was out of play, so he would have had it anyway. That's not the first hit of the ball game. That's an error.
We talked about in pregame, Levine struggling in the field yesterday. We see a throw just probably 6 inches out of the reach of Aaron Hauser. It's a tough throw, obviously, across the diamond, but when you're at the varsity level, that's a play that should be relatively routine. So now with the runner in scoring position for only the second time today, the Mustangs really need to get some runs across as Nunez steps in, because if Hauser keeps going the way he's going, the few opportunities he's given them, it's going to be a rough last 2 1/3 for these Mustangs.
In there for a strike. That one looked a little inside. So an E5 charged on Daniel Levine on the one-hopper throw. Levine's been making good contact with the baseball, though, at the plate. He had a very good end to the regular season. The 0-1.
Levine 1 for 2 today with a single that eventually he scored on and a fly out to center. We see Nunez 0 for 0 on the day. He was plunked in the third. He ended up stealing second, but was stranded there. The only runner stranded thus far for the Mustangs in this ballgame.
Cut on and missed. 0-2. So Hauser wants to get it done just one at-bat later and get the Lancers back with the bats.
Impressive stuff from Hauser. He's not even all the way through for the second time in this Mustangs lineup, and we're at the end of the 5th inning essentially. Very efficient.
Hauser steps off now. Rivera off of second. He's not being held on by Ullman.
No reason, 2 outs. He's not going to run, try and get the third out at third base. I think that's a sin in the game of baseball.
His run will cut the Lancers' lead in half if Nunez can do the job. That one just misses.
Not sure if that was lower outside, but very good plate discipline from Nunez.
Very close call there. 1-2, 2 away.
21 for 64 coming in today is Nunez. 328 on the year.
Cut on and missed, struck him out. Another strikeout for Ben Hauser. Lancers come to hit in the bottom of the 5th. They still hold that 2-0 lead they garnered in the first. Stay tuned on the NFHS Network.
Right up the middle, barreling towards the goal line. Baldwin is in for a Vance touchdown.
Right down the middle, man. This guy, and he keep going, and
the ball's loose.
And they hop back on it, and that's a touchdown.
Short punt, bounces at the 35, fielded at the 40 by Quick, out to the corner. He's got blockers and a lot of green grass in front of him. Cuts back, he's in for a touchdown!
Swing pass in the flat. Touchdown.
Third down and 17, a handoff, getting to the outside. There's a hole, there's a first down, and all the way to the races is Elijah McWilliams to the house for a touchdown and for an IMIC for a division championship.
We are back. Bottom half of the 5th inning. Schroeder top 2 up. Alex, what's Livingston looking for here in the bottom half of the 5th as we are getting towards grudge time?
Well, they're looking to chase Rogers out of this game. 4 innings thrown, 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned. So Rogers, who had a shaky start first inning, that saw 2 runs, 3 hits, and a plunked batter, He's been good since then, but his pitch count is relatively high. And as we approach the latter innings of this game, it's important that they get him out of here quickly. And as we said before, we do think that it was Luis Rivera warming up in the bullpen. Presumably it will be him replacing Rogers if need be. But it's important, Schroeder coming up and in the top of the order for these Lancers to get Rogers out of this game, because he's gotten into his groove and he's been very, very good, to say the least. 6 up, 6 down his last 2 innings of work, so he's been hot. That includes striking out, excuse me. Yes, 6 up, 6 down. I was reading my notes wrong. That includes the play in which Ullman tried to go for 2 and was unable to do so.
Schroeder tries to bunt the first pitch. He couldn't hold back on the high ball. Counts 0-1.
The ball was over his head.
Yeah, that was quite the reach he came up with there. Nonetheless, counts 0-1. 2-0 Lancers. Great day for baseball.
Beautiful.
Cut on and miss, strike 2. And, well, Rogers, as you said, pitch kind of shy a bit higher than what we're seeing from Ben Hauser, but in the senior versus senior, lefty versus righty matchup, both of them just an excellent job. Pitch in the dirt and passed, and the counts 1 and 2 are not, I couldn't hold on to it.
Schroeder, 10 singles and 50 at-bats. He's hitting 220 on the year. Very solid for a bottom of the order player. So he's looking to get on base.
Oh, this one almost got his lower body. Counts 2 and 2. That's it. Groove out of the way for that one. So the 2-2. With nobody out. Alex, no mound visits yet today. It's an interesting statistic we found. So here comes the 2-2. And Rogers takes a minute. Takes a little peek at his dugout. Doesn't see anything. Just got a piece of it. This is going to be a tough one for Polanco as he just gets Schroeder. Whoa, a close one. First out of the inning. Looked like almost an excuse me swing.
Yeah, well, great play by Yuri's Polanco over at third. Chase that ball, charge in, and gun it over to Kyle Velas standing over at first to retire Schroeder Jr.
Top of the order for the Lancers. Here is Ben Hauser doing an excellent job pitching a no-hitter. Ball 1.
Hauser 2 for 2 with 2 singles. He was pinch ran for by Maiello, who ended up scoring way back in the first. And oh yeah, 9 strikeouts for Hauser through 5 innings pitched. So phenomenal performance on both sides of the ball for 31 in black.
Oh, Alex, how could you forget that one? 9.
Just a side note.
Yeah, 9 strikeouts on the day. Pretty good. 1-0 now. Breaking ball fits in there for a strike. The count's 1-1.
Well, you mentioned the no-no going. I hate to jinx it for Hauser. He's a hit by pitch shy of a perfect game, and he's going to take that into the 6th, most likely.
Grounded, just sneaks foul down the first base line. Looks like that might have hit a little bit of the cork of the bat, which is probably why it curved out foul.
Yeah, late on that fastball, but just barely, as it just missed skimming that first base bag. And obviously, you know, if the ball does make contact with the base, it is a fair ball. Just barely missed that first base. And we'll see now 1 and 2, pitcher to pitcher, Rogers to Hauser here in the top of the 5th. 1 away at the Oval.
Another pitcher-pitcher matchup, as you said. So here comes the 1-2. And Rogers again wants to take a breath. Breaking ball. Once again, this is going to be a tough play for Polanco. This one is well wild. And Hauser's going to be on second base. We saw that not too shy ago, and then we will see it again as Hauser takes advantage.
I think that's a hit for Hauser. I don't think, even if that was a spot-on throw, I don't think they were getting him there. So for that reason, I think they give him a hit.
Yeah, you can also make a case there for an E5 too, but I think you're right. I think you can give him a hit for that one.
Well, we mentioned the pitcher-pitcher matchup. As we see another hit, 3 for 3 with 3 singles now, is Hauser, who stands in on second. Excuse me, that's Maiello now standing in for Hauser on second. Rogers, conversely, has 2 at-bats, 2 strikeouts, both swinging. So we know who's getting the best of that matchup.
First pitch in there for a strike. The pinch runner is Joseph Maiello once again. This is his 3rd pinch running appearance on the day. And this is also his first playoffs appearance for the Lancers. First year of varsity, 0-1 pitch. Grounded once again. A lot of action for Polanco as they're going to try and get Maiello, and they got him. Maiello stretched a little bit too far off the bag. So a fielder's choice for Dan Levine. And that'll bring up LJ Kakuza. Levine now stands on first base. And again, that was another play for Yuri's Polanco.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal in the field today. His bat, I mean, nobody in the lineup for the Mustangs has been able to get a hit, but he did reach on an error from Daniel Levine, ended up getting to second on that.
Pitch in there for a strike.
1 for 3 on the day with a single that scored back in the first, flew out to center in the second, into the glove of Connor Reed, and then reached on a fielder's choice just now here in the 5th.
Play baseball or high school baseball for the NJSIAA. Third base, not easy, got to throw across the diamond in a quick amount of time. It's not fully grown yet who have to do it. Young adults, they are. The 1 pitch is cut on and missed hard by Kakuza, 0-2. And now, Alex, I'll say it for you, junk pitch.
Waste, so I like to say. It's a little bit more difficult for a lefty pitcher to a righty, but this is a prime spot. 2 outs, 2 strikes. And 0 for 2 is Kakuza today. This strikeout swing in the first, and fly out.
Runner goes, Levine in safe. And a ball thrown as well. The count's now 1-2.
That was the waste pitch low. Levine able to take advantage. Good jump. And that will be base number 9 stolen on the year for Levine.
So the Lancers have that runner back on second with 2 away. Kakuza now has a 2-2 count as that pitch was blocked in the dirt by Urdanada.
Way to work back from 0-2 here from Kakuza. As I mentioned, that stolen base number 9, that ties him with Ben Hauser, who's been phenomenal in every meaning of the word today. That ties them for the team lead with 9 on the year.
Livingston playing some great baseball lately. 7-game win streak they were able to extend it to. This can be number 8 for them if they're able to hold on to this 2-0 lead they've had since the first. This one in the dirt. Urdanada was able to block a little bit of it, but not all of it. Gave Levine enough time to get to third standing. And a full count for Kakuza now. He's seen 3 balls thrown in a row after a tough cut and a miss.
Well, look at it from Roger's perspective. He went from 0-2 with the runner on first to a full count with a runner on third. So a bit of a rough at bat for Rogers, but you know, if he can get this out here, the strikeout, no harm, no foul for this Mustangs team.
Here comes the full count 2-out pitch. Kakuza wants a bit more time. That's the thing about baseball, there's no clock.
Well, best and worst. You can make the argument that games can get a little bit boring and tedious as the games progress, but good pace today, both pitchers showing their good stuff.
Grounded to first, this one sneaks by the glove of Velis. Is it a fair or foul ball? It's a fair ball. Levine crosses home. It's a sneaky link single for LJ Kakuza, the designated hitter, did what he needed to do. That was hit. And he played to run. Lancers have a 3-0 lead. He's standing on first. And now here comes an exchange within words. Yeah, Clifton does not like that call. Rightfully. Coach Rivera is exchanging words with the home plate umpire. He does not get the benefit of the doubt. Why would he? Once it's a call, it's a call.
It is. We see the Lancers dugout having exchanging some pleasantries with a parent, and that parent has now been ejected by the home plate umpire.
We see a parent ejected. Wow, this is interesting.
We
see an ejected parent.
No idea what you're doing. Don't make me move.
Yeah, look at this. Interesting.
And the Lancer student section is loving it. That's the second run for Levine now today.
Wow, a parent ejected. Parent ejected. Let's listen in. An ejected parent. There was a police officer here, let me mention, prior to the start of the ball game and here for the first inning. Not sure if he's departed. Hopefully he's not needed.
Coach Ennis talking to some people behind the backside over at home.
Yeah, Livingston's athletic department's going to now try and get him booted. Is that Morty Photo trying to help out as well? Morty Photo and Morty Securities, Inc.
It's a community effort to ensure the lack of profanity at these state-sanctioned ball games.
Yeah, we're going to try and see if they got him out. It looks to still be within the facility, so they're gonna hold the game. Yeah, they're gonna hold the game.
Well, while we have that, let's take a look at what we had there. Kakuza singled, or allegedly singled, dare I say. That knocked in a run. Levine, who reached on a fielder's choice, ended up taking second on a stolen base, reached third on a passed ball, and ended up scoring on that supposed hit Ryan, it's hard to say from my angle. I did think it was just to the right of first
I thought it was
base.
foul, yeah. Coach Nunez, excuse me, not Coach Nunez, Coach Rivera said not even close. It was definitely close, but I mean, I think it was a foul ball, but nonetheless, we don't umpire the game. We just say what we see, excuse me. That pitch misses for a ball that counts 1-0. Runner on first base for the Lancers. They now stretch the third run in.
Aaron Hauser stepping in for the third time today. He hit 2 balls hard, one over the glove of Luis Rivera that got him a single, which knocked in 2, and then he hit a ball to center fielder Connor Reed.
1-0. They're going to check the runner at first. Looks like that fan or parent has departed and left his seat. Alex, I kind of want to sit down.
Well, that seat, as I mentioned, took a nice right foot to it as the distressed parent did.
Fouled away, 1-1.
As I was saying, that parent did unleash his dissatisfaction with the call on his lawn chair. Lots of lawn chairs out here today. Beautiful weather for baseball.
1-1. And they'll check the runner once again.
Seven hits for Rogers today through 5 2/3. Just looking to get out of this inning without another run across.
This one is grounded to second, and Rivera makes the play. But not after the Lancers played a controversial run with a sneaky hit by LJ Kakuza down the first base line. Clifton now down by 3, running out of time. They got to make the comeback if they want to keep their season alive. Quarterfinal game. More next on the NFHS Network.
One of New Jersey's premier high school basketball teams gets their coverage from D1 Media Pro, and it goes like this.
Finds Floyd to tie things up. Tie game! 62 apiece. 90 seconds.
Floyd attacking and throws it down! Corey Floyd! A missed opportunity down low, behind the back to Bueno and one! Lawrence with Floyd to lob it up, and a slam! It's too low for Dunn. Wilcher to Floyd, brings it in and one on the lob!
Thought about the 3, drives baseline. Oh, what a start for Corey Floyd!
Here with Corey Floyd after a tough 6.
Wilcher, 3. Got it! Simeon Wilcher is fired up!
And Simeon Wilcher all alone with the flush. Here with Simeon Wilcher. And a pass taken away by Marshall. And he'll throw it down. Tosses it ahead to Valencia. Sering driving and throws it down. He can't get around, and a turnover. Corey Floyd has it. Step through, lay-in, down the basket. Marcus Cerroti here with Roselle Catholic head coach Dave Boff. Dave, you're coming up.
Now it's your time to join.
Well, Ben Hauser takes his no-hit bid into the 6th inning, and a little bit of controversy there to close out the 5th. We saw a single off the bat of Kakuza, very close to the bag. I thought it was foul. Umpire disagreed. A lot of voices of opinions heard from these Mustang fans. Yeah, we had an ejection from a fan, but Aaron Hauser ended up grounding out to the second baseman Rivera to end the inning. So no impact really.
Let's do the top half of the 6th as that first pitch is grounded foul by Riordan. And wow, take a look at this. A standing ovation by the Clifton fans as that one's called foul. And wow, that is an interesting way to go down with that one. Clifton, I think, liked that call because it was foul. Yeah.
I can say with lots of certainty that ball was foul.
Yes, we have it on camera. And the 0-1. In the dirt, the count's 1-1.
And we hear some mocking applause for the umpire, who is not in the good graces of the fans wearing maroon up the third base line. That ball clearly
Alex, I hope it caught us saying on the mics that was foul, because we were surrounded by people going, yay, the 1-1. There comes the pitch. It's getting loud here as we're in the grudge time. That one just misses and the count's 2-1.
What do you think that was, Ryan? It looked in the zone to me.
Yeah, might have swerved a little high there. The 2-1. Yeah, I think I saw Side have to move his rear end up a little bit to make the catch there. The 2-1. Popped up in the infield. Ullman waves his hands and makes the play. Squatting down, and there's one away in 4 pitches.
I'm not sure if we mentioned it, Peralta and Velis, 2 and 3 hitters in this inning. That's the top of the order for the Mustangs, and they're looking to get a base runner on and record the Mustangs' first hit of the ball game.
So here's number 2, Juan Peralta. Third time around the Clifton batting order. They're down 3-0. Livingston and Morristown stayed close within 1 run. This one only within 3.
Oh, in his first 2 at-bats, Peralta flew out to left in the first and fouled out on the third baseline in the third.
Well high and upstairs, 1-0.
Well, I think after that ejection, these Clifton fans are back into it as they're making their voices heard in support of their batters as we approach the last inning of this ball game here, top of the 6th.
That's high again, it's 2-0.
I don't think anybody's louder than this Clifton dugout. Every single guy on their feet, making their voices heard, trying to get in the hit of Hauser, who's been phenomenal today. Looking to break up his no-hit bid here through 6 1/3.
2-0, 1 away.
No walks thus far for Hauser, but with the way that this Clifton dugout is egging him on, getting in his head, we might see a 4-pitch walk right now. You don't want to throw a meatball to Peralta, who's been good this year at the plate, but something to watch out for is Hauser.
Well, Peralta, he gets jumpy as well, too, after every pitch, which is interesting. Here comes a 3-0. Put one down the middle for a strike.
And up until this point, Hauser's been very efficient with his pitch selection. Very limited amount of pitches thrown through 5. And he's looking to return to that state with a 3-run count to the leadoff hitter in Peralta. With 1 away here, top of the 6th.
Cut on and missed. And the count is full. And now Livingston's going crazy. So we have a student section, or even parents too, a little bash.
A little fandom duel.
Fandom Fury. Fandom Fury.
There we go.
I like that. Full count. 1 away.
Good job to work back to full count by Hauser here after being down 3-0.
That one's outside. Ball 4. Peralta is on first base. Still not a hit from Clifton, but more and more base runners throughout the game's frequency. Here in the top half of the 6th inning. Thank you for joining us on the D1 Media Pro page on the NFHS Network for some Group 4 quarterfinal baseball in the sectional tournament. This one's Section 1. Group 4, Section 1. Difficult baseball. Even the 16th seed doing damage. This pitch is grounded. And the throw to second, there's one. And they throw to first. Nobody's there. Miscommunication. And Velis is now in a rundown. Take a look at this. This might be the most interesting double play we've seen this year. So we got to break that one down, Alex. Let's get started now because there's 3 down in the top half of the 6th. I am confused, but I have it under control. So that one was grounded to first, and yeah, even the Clifton first base coach is trying to discuss with the umpire what just went on there. So that was grounded to first. Hauser made the throw to second to get the force out, but nobody was covering first. So Ullman just lobbed it to first, and nobody was there. This way it wouldn't go out of play, and a runner would be on second. A Lancer tracked it down, and a Lancer threw it to second before Velis can reach the extra bag, probably thinking it went out of play, and there he was on a rundown, and that did it.
Well, what I noticed, Ryan, is Hauser was slow getting off the mound. He saw his brother Aaron go into the hole a little bit to get that ground ball. As we see Roger stepping on once again for the bottom 6th. Aaron did a great job of getting into that hole to field down that ground ball, throw it over to Ullman, the shortstop, covering at second. But it wasn't until Aaron was getting ready to throw that ball that Ben realized he needed to cover first base. The second baseman, Scott Schroeder Jr., was not there. He started to make a break for it when he realized Hauser wasn't going. Hauser was late getting there. Ullman threw it to nobody. It reached the fence to the left of the Lancers dugout. It was retrieved, thrown over to second base. Bit of a rundown there, but in the end, Velis was tagged, and that is how we got here to the bottom of the 6th inning. Rogers once again going his 6th inning of work. Let's see how he's done thus far.
Well, Alex, I'd like to say before you say that, I really do think Velis thought that was out of play because every single throw to first that has been mishandled has went out of play. So that must have been what he was thinking. We don't read his mind, but we infer that.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. I would infer that he did think he would get second base automatically. Unfortunate for him, lucky break for the Lancers to avoid a runner in scoring position. But back to Rogers, through 5, 7 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 3 runs, all 3 earned, a walk, 4 strikeouts, and a plunked batter in Kenny all the way back in the first. Now for his 6th inning, he looks to keep this a 3-run Lancer lead as we see Side step in. Side 0 for 2, went down swinging in the first, flew out to center in the 3rd.
Now here's Miles Side. Side, as you said, 0 for 2 on the day. And he wants to get Clifton, one of the premier hitters for the Lancers. And he takes this first pitch to center field, but right to where Reed's standing. 1 up, 1 pitch, 1 down. And that'll bring up Brandon Kenny. So that's actually the 2nd F8 in a row for Side. Side and Reed butting heads today. So Kenny was hit by a pitch, and he went down on a ground ball to short. So he's 0 for 1 today, and he reached. Kenny wears number 14.
1 of 5 batters stranded for the Lancers today, which doesn't seem like it's going to be a problem, but something to look out for, as I mentioned.
Pitch in the dirt. Count is 0-1. Mishandled. Alex, it's been a doozy type of day in many different ways, but it's also been a very exciting and very clean ball game with some funny errors to work off of, like that one we just saw earlier on in the top half of the 6th. Here's the pitch. This one is popped up sky high. Feliciano is going back far, and he doesn't make the play. Kenny's jolting for 3rd. The throw, not gonna work. It was in and out of the glove of Polanco. Kenny might have just had himself a triple.
Might have, Ryan. That was without a doubt. What a way to get your first hit of the ball game.
Well, that one actually, I believe that went in and out of the glove of Feliciano. That was such a nice piece of I think they gave him a hit there. He ran all the way to 3rd, but then debatably too, they could have had him out at 3rd. Polanco just couldn't handle it.
I think he would have beat the throw regardless. And as for the play in left field with Brian Feliciano, he went back so far regardless if he caught it or not. I think he gave him the hit there. I mean, obviously if he catches,
he tracked back. That reminds me of, well, hold on a second. Here's a pitch that is cut on and missed for a strike. That reminds me of actually the 1992 GNT, where Garrett Newbart hit the walk-off for the Lancers. And it was actually hit to left field, and it was so deep, it was misread by the left fielder. But the difference was Newbart was so fast, he actually played AAA baseball and set stolen base records for Columbia. He scored all the way home to walk it off for the Lancers. We come all the way back now to 2022, an 0-2 pitch in there for strike 3 for the 2nd out of the inning. Kenny goes down on strikes. This will now bring up Dominic Ullman. Excuse me, Fusari goes down on strikes. This brings up Dominic Ullman and a triple for Brandon Kenny, as I was saying earlier. That was a brilliant piece as the pitch is popped up deep to center field. Going back, Reed. He can't make the play. It's going to be an RBI double for Ullman as he's held up at 2nd. He raises the cap like a Yankee as it's now 4-0 Lancers. What a piece. I mean, as the wind enters, the Lancers pop right into it. That was a nice triple by Kenny, and he was scored home and out after by Dominic Ullman's double, and that will bring up Scott Schroeder. And breaking ball misses, and now the count is 1-0. Ullman, again, a salute to the dugout, raising his cap, catching it as it was falling off. You want to leave those things behind and see if you can dig for as much as possible, as quick as possible. Here comes the 1-0. 2-0.
Well, just continuing your point, Ryan, about former Livingston Lancer baseball star Garrett Newbart. Came back, lived in Livingston for quite some time.
Now he's a native of Canada.
Yes. You know, sons went to Livingston for at least a year, went to Livingston High School. Not baseball players.
Hockey guys.
Yeah, club hockey for the Jersey Wolves. Teammates of mine, actually, good friends of both of ours.
And here's the 2-0 with 2 away. And that pitch will miss, and the count is 3-0. That 1992 team, very famous, actually. Fun fact, Coach Furincelli, who is still around today doing some coaching for Livingston, he's been with this program for so long. He was with the program for a long time in the 1992 GNT run for the Lancers. He was in that dugout. You can actually watch the game on YouTube, 3-0 pitch. In there for a strike. Coach Furincelli been with Livingston baseball for a long, long time. Pitches in there for a strike. The count is 3-1 with 2 away. Lancers also won the GMT in 2018. They're able to take down Nutley in Verona. Verona hosted this year's semifinal round of action, in which Seton Hall took down Milburn for the second time out of their 3 contests to win the tournament only a week later at Yogi Berra Stadium. And also Bloomfield surprised Nutley. And that finals a 15-0 victory for Seton Hall, Alex.
Yeah, and that can be streamed on the on-demand function of the NFHS network. We were at that game. Fun game to cover, great post-game interviews as well.
I'll tell you what, Alex, what was in the press box was great, but it was a very hot day. So on the field, it must have been a little torturous in those baseball pants.
Especially for the catchers. Schroeder will step back in after discussing some...
3-1, strike 2.
As I was saying, I don't know what exactly he was discussing. Coach Ennis came out as well. Schroeder thus far 0 for 1. He grounds it out to the shortstop. Also strands it on third, back in the second after walking.
3-2, 2 outs, 4-0 Lancers. Ullman off of second. Schroeder hitting. Rogers pitching.
And to my point before, Schroeder, one of 5 Lancers stranded in this ball game.
In the dirt, ball 4. A good at-bat there by Schroeder. Runners now on first and second with 2 away. And that will bring up the top of the order. Key for the Lancers here. Top of the order, this is Ben Hauser, who's been quite good today. Single-double, also reached on an E5. Good day for the man.
Yeah, Hauser 3 for 3 on the day. Stranded twice at second base as pinch runner Maiello. Also scored way back on the first on a single from his brother.
Yeah, Maiello, the, I guess you can say, quote-unquote battery mate for Hauser, doing the running for him. Well, caught in a rundown a few innings ago. The 1-0 with 2 away. Breaking ball fits in there for a strike, and the count is 1-1 with 2 away. Runners on first and second. The Lancers trying to skew away with what was a 2-0 lead since the first. Turned into a 3, and now a 4-0 lead with some high pop-ups that the wind dragged past the outfielders by just inches. 1-1. 2-1.
Sun back out now, Ryan. It's, as we've said time and time again, a picture-perfect day for baseball. No other way to say it. Weather is, I hate to use the word perfect, but that's just what it is today.
Yeah. Oh, 3-1. That one almost hit him.
Good job getting out of the way there from B. Hauser.
Yeah, there's B. Hauser and A. Hauser. B. Hauser is the older Hauser on the mound today. A. Hauser's been playing a lot of first this year. A. Hauser, A short for Aaron, first-year varsity player for the Lancers. 3-1 to B. Hauser. That misses, 5-pitch walk. That loads the bases.
Second in a row for Rogers, excuse me.
Here's Dan Levine. Lancers now in the midst of their 4th time at bat today. And Levine, single in the first. He would score around, and then he flew out to center and grounded into a fielder's choice. Replaced Maiello on second after a stolen base, put him there after Maiello got in the rundown, keeping him safe. Interesting fun fact about the Hausers, too. Their father was a 15-year head softball coach for the varsity team down in Passaic. Levine knocks the first pitch up high. Reed's going back. Reed is under it. Reed makes the play. So that will do the inning. Lancers strand the bags loaded. We go to the 7th inning. It is Last Chance Mustangs next on the NFHS Network.
He's going to take it himself for a championship. A double play wins it for Frazier.
Turn it to the end zone. What a catch. It's on touchdown. Elijah wins it. The championship.
It is Last Chance Mustangs. As you can see, they are in a huddle trying to save their season here on June 4th. It all got started on March 20th and the regular season on April 1st. It was a good ride for the Mustangs this year. They did quite a number on some teams. They started off the year with a 14-run Mercy Rule victory in 5 at Union City High School. They then lost to Wayne Valley, but a bunch of wins in a row, including visiting Fairlawn to an 11-5 win, hosting Bergen Tech to a 3-1 win, who they just recently beat. They were at West Milford to a 5-inning 15-3 win. Then they visited Bergen Tech to a 4-1 win. At Memorial, they won 10-3. At Passaic Tech, they won 6-4. Then they hosted Passaic Tech just 2 days later, lost 11-0. And then they were at Passaic Valley to a 4-2 win. They hosted Passaic to a 10-0 Mercy Rule. At Passaic, just 2 days later, they won 8-7. Then versus Ridgewood, they lost 4-3. And Patterson Kennedy on 5-2 and 5-4. They outscored them a whopping 24-3. Both games mercy ruled days. And then versus Passaic Valley, they won 13-3 in the quarterfinal round of the Passaic County Tournament. Beat Patterson East Side 7-1. At Patterson East Side, just a day later, they won 13-0. So they outscored them 20-1. Then versus Lakeland, they lost 8-0, but came back with a big Passaic County Tournament semifinal round victory versus West Milford 2-1. They then would lose to Passaic Tech 7-1 in the final round, and they beat Paramus Catholic 5-4 and St. Joseph Montvale 4-2. Those are big regular season finales as they beat St. Joseph Montvale, last year's defending non-public A sectional and state champions. So that's huge. And they also beat Paramus Catholic, which is a strong private school. As let's get the last chance Mustangs inning underway. This is a sky-high pop-up, well, highest of the day. This one's so high, it can be handled, though, by Hauser for the first out of the top half of the 7th inning. So Yoriz Polanco goes into a F3, and that'll bring up Kyle Rogers with Brian Feliciano on deck. Rogers struck out swinging both times. Hauser trying to do the no-hitter.
And he's 2 outs away. He's been phenomenal. All of his stuff has been pinpoint. He's been in command of his pitches. And he's 2 outs away from quite the accomplishment.
1 out. And one pitch popped foul away to the second hitter of the inning. Ryan Lowy, out. Thank you for joining us here on the D1 Media page on the NFHS Network. The 0-1. Nick Baum, the famed MKA soccer player, D1 Media Pro and MKA TV cameraman with us today. The 0-1 pitch from Hauser. This one is line. Ullman is able to stop it from exiting the infield. His throw to first is wild and blocked. But a runner on, I think that's a hit.
I do too.
I'm a score at a hit. That's a single. And I think that'll do the no-hitter for Ben Hauser. And yeah, this will bring out Corey Feigenbaum, the pitching coach. And yeah, Feigenbaum, I believe, read that as a single too and just wants to tell Hauser, calm down, don't worry about that no-hitter. Just, get the job done.
Yeah, he has Feliciano, who is 0 for 2, and Reed, who is 0 for 2, both of whom have striked out. Feliciano also popped out to the catcher. That great play that Side had falling on his backside to make the catch. And that was way back, it seems, in the 5th. And then Reed grounded to Schroeder way back in the 2nd. So still 2 outs away for these Lancers for the right to play in the semifinals against the winner of the West Orange.
Clifton, West Orange and Hackensack game tonight at 7. 1 away. Kyle Rogers takes a strike. They're going to check the runner at first. He's safe.
Good awareness by Side there to get the ball to Hauser for a relatively close play, but no dice and still 1 on, 1 out for Hauser.
So scoreboard says 0-1. 4-0 Lancers. Rogers off at first. Feliciano, a victim of Hauser's dangerous strikeouts today. Went down looking, and Miles Side caught his catcher pop fly that almost dragged, actually did drag Side down with that strike 2. The count's 0-2. 1 away, Lancers 2 outs away from qualifying for the semifinals for the 2nd straight year in a row. One of the best years the Lancers have had since 2018, the GNT final year, where they lost in this round of the playoffs. This pitch is caught on and missed. 4 strike 3. Feliciano goes down on strikes for the 2nd time today, first time swinging. Last chance Mustangs are down to the final out of the day, and it's up to Connor Reed.
That's 10th strikeout. That's his 10th strikeout in Ben Hauser. Dominant performance. You've said it time and time again. Regardless of that one hit, it's been great, to say the least.
The Mustangs are down to their final out. Connor Reed grounded out to second and struck out swinging. And he pops this one foul. Only a strike to spare for the Mustangs. Another one after that, and their season has come to a glory end of 19-6 in 25 games. Nonetheless, something to work off of proudly next year as they graduate a solid class of seniors who've led their program.
Livingston did play in the semifinals last year. They actually did beat Clifton in that game, went on to lose in the finals.
Check swing. He went around as the home plate umpire. And now the Mustangs are down to their final strike of the ball game. Connor Reed hasn't seen a ball yet this at-bat. He's been a victim of the strikeout swinging his 2nd time round. He also grounded out to a smooth Scott Schroeder at second. Smooth Scott he has been today. No errors recorded at second base. The 0-2, 2 outs. Here in the top half of the 7th inning, the Lancers, with this win, move on to the sectional semifinals. Breaking ball misses for a ball that counts 1-0. 1-2, pardon.
And I don't think I see one Lancer fan in their seats right now. Everyone's standing, everyone's clapping,
too, yeah.
everyone's into it, and rightfully so. The Lancers 1 out away from the semifinals of the state tournament.
Runner on first. 1-2 count, 2 outs. Hauser wants to complete a 4-0 victory. This pitch, line to center. This one going deep. But Kenny is there to make the play. And the Lancers season lives on. They will be 2022 sectional semifinalists of Section 1, Group 4, with that catch by Kenny.
Thank you, Kendall. Do not again.
So that will do it. 2 straight playoff wins for the Lancers, 8 straight general wins for the Lancers. And they will move on to the semifinals. It was a complete game pitching in the first game, and it was a complete game pitching in the second game. The Lancers have not yet needed to utilize their bullpen. De Palma did it last time, and this time, also available on demand, the older Ben Hauser did it. So that'll end Clifton's season. They finished with a phenomenal 19-6 record, but Livingston for the second straight year is the one to end their season. This time 4 days after June, instead of 7 days like last year. My name's Ryan Lowry. I was joined with Alex Weiss, and on camera, the famed Nicholas Baum. Who was your player of the game?
I mean, come on, Ryan. It's got to be Ben Hauser.
All right, sorry. I shouldn't have asked.
Complete game from B. Hauser. Only 1 hit, a 6th and a 3rd inning hitless performance. Still 1 hit. Extremely impressive stuff from the senior. Only a walk to go with it. Double-digit strikeouts. Hauser brought the heat today. Phenomenal. I'm at a loss for words, Ryan. It's back-to-back complete game outings from Livingston pitchers, both of which were phenomenal. But Hauser, I think, even more so than De Palma on Wednesday. Ennis's team has to be super proud of what they've accomplished and what is still at stake for them. They played Tuesday against the winner of Hackensack and West Orange, and presuming that the higher seeded West Orange is able to pull out a W, it's going to be a very exciting game of baseball. Regardless of the result of that game, Livingston is back here on the Oval defending their home turf in the semifinals, and rightfully so. This team deserves to play at their home. They fought all season long, and we saw today the bats were going, the pitches were flying, the defense was making plays, and overall, a terrific performance from the boys in black.
So that will do Clifton's season. It ends here at the Oval in the second round of the state sectional playoffs of Section 1 in Group 4 in the North brackets. Clifton finishes out the season with 19 phenomenal wins, just 1 short of the big 2-0, and only 6 losses, including this one being their 6th, 5 in the regular season, including 1 in the finals of their county tournament. That will do today's production as well here on the D1 Media Pro page on the NFH Network. My name is Ryan Lowry, with Alex Weiss and the famed Nick Baum on camera. Livingston will play on. Win number 8 in a row for them generally. Their second playoff win moves them to the sectional semifinals, where they will host the winner of 16-seeded Hackensack, taking on 8-seeded West Orange tonight at 7 p.m. at West Orange High School. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. The final score of this one, 4-0 Lancers. They will move on 2-2.
He's going to take it himself for a championship. A double play wins it for three. Turn it to the end zone. What a catch. McKay's on touchdown. Into the layup goes at the buzzer. Wins it. The championship. He's going to take it himself for a championship. A double play wins it for three. Turn it to the end zone. What a catch. McKay's on touchdown. Into the layup goes at the buzzer. Wins it. The championship. He's going to take it himself for a championship. A double play wins it for three. Turn it to the end zone. What a catch. McKay's on touchdown. Into the layup goes at the buzzer. Wins it. The championship. He's going to take it himself for a championship. A double play wins it for three. Turn it to the end zone. What a catch. McKay's on touchdown. Into the layup goes at the buzzer. Wins it. The championship. He's going to take it himself for a championship. A double play wins it for three. Turn it to the end zone. What a catch. McKay's on touchdown. Into the layup goes at the buzzer. Wins it. The championship. for a championship! A double play wins him the free. Vernon to the end zone. What a catch! McKay's on touchdown. Lucia wins it. The championship. He's going to take it himself for a championship. A double play wins him the free. Vernon to the end zone. What a catch! McKay's on touchdown. Lucia wins it. The championship. He's going to take it himself for a championship. A double play wins him the free. Vernon to the end zone. What a catch! McKay's on touchdown. Lucia wins it. The championship. He's going to take it himself for a championship. A double play wins him the free. Vernon to the end zone. What a catch! McKay's on touchdown.